DEA Take Back Day.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. The latest woman to accuse Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell of sexual assault is Lana Drew. She says in West Hollywood in 2018,
he raped me and he choked me. And while he was choking me, I lost consciousness.
Swalwell's attorney calls the accusations false and a transparent political hit job. At least 4 women have made claims against Swalwell. 2 of them tell CBS's Nancy Cordes in an exclusive interview.
They say that they are gratified by the fact that Swalwell has now resigned as of 2 p.m. today, but they still believe that he needs to face justice. And the fact that there are now at least one investigation going on, and now another woman has come forward with very disturbing allegations in California. They don't believe we've heard the end of this case.
Swalwell and Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez of Texas have officially resigned from Congress over sexual misconduct allegations. The Justice Department is asking a federal court to throw out some of the most serious charges stemming from the U.S. Capitol attack. CBS's Linda Kenyon.
The leaders of the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers were convicted of seditious conspiracy. The Justice Department now wants an appeals court to erase those convictions, including against Stuart Rhodes, founder of the Oath Keepers. President Trump had commuted the prison sentences of several leaders of the extremist groups in a sweeping act of clemency, but this request would go even further.
An attorney for the suspect in a Molotov cocktail attack at OpenAI CEO Sam Altman's home says her client was in the midst of mental health crisis and that Daniel Moreno Gama has been overcharged by prosecutors to curry favor with Altman. The number of U.S. service members wounded in the war with Iran is growing. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
Nearly 400 service members have been wounded in action during Operation Epic Fury. The U.S. Central Command says 354 have returned to duty. 3 are considered seriously wounded. It doesn't describe how the service members were injured.
A huge swath of the country could be in the path of extreme weather. Meteorologist Craig Allen.
The severe risk will extend from New England right across New York State into the Great Lakes, then down through the Mississippi Valley, continuing through the Central Plains and into southern sections of Texas.
Police released the Michigan man who claims his wife fell off their boat and was swept away by the current in the Bahamas. Brian Hooker tells CBS News he believes his wife could still be alive.
I've been told that people have lasted in the Bahamas after falling overboard for days and even weeks.
This is CBS News.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, April 25th. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com.
Coming up, court documents reveal a motive behind a fatal attack in Kent. That's after Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
All right, this one brought to us by Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Well, we are already busy across most of the region. This is what happens when we're driving in the rain around here. And here are some of our bigger concerns. In Federal Way, we just cleared a crash westbound 18 near Weyerhaeuser, but it's still packed from 167 over to Military Road. And then you're going to clear out until you reach I-5. Southbound on 167, scattered backups from Renton into Sumner, and it gets thick at State Route 18. Plan on about 40 minutes to get through this. In South Tacoma, both directions of the freeway are crowded near the mall. Tacoma to Olympia, 40 minutes with typical backups forming through JBLM, and as you head into Olympia. Olympia to Tacoma, we're all clear until you get into South Tacoma. Seattle to Federal Way up to 40 minutes, and we're packed from MLK Junior Way to 516. Both directions of 405 are heavy through South Center, and we're now at 35 minutes to get through downtown Seattle on northbound I-5 with backup starting at the Michigan Curve. This month, when you install a new AC or heat pump, you'll get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Scheduled today at dayandnight.net. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. It appears jealousy was the motive behind a deadly stabbing last week in Kent. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lenzi has those charging documents.
Casey McNerthney in the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office says 40-year-old Antonio Solomon stabbed a man near a Circle K on April 7th.
There was evidence of a really brutal and violent attack.
According to court documents, Solomon stabbed the man 4 times. Right before the attack, both men had been in the store, and the victim had been talking to the clerk. The clerk was Solomon's girlfriend. He's charged with first-degree murder and is due in court Thursday. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
A Texas man linked to a violent ATM robbery ring has been sentenced to 10 years in federal prison in Seattle. 24-year-old Seth Coles-Bodie pleaded guilty to attacking and threatening ATM repair technicians so he could steal the cash. Prosecutors say he was part of a crew that disabled those ATMs, then ambushed workers when they arrived to fix them. Crimes took place in Renton, Redmond, and Vancouver. A second suspect is still awaiting sentencing. Seattle's police chief now talking about the mayor's directive limiting when and where the SPD can use cameras to monitor crowds at the World Cup this summer.
In the Pioneer Square Stadium area, however, we're not allowed to turn those cameras on unless there is a credible threat.
Chief Sean Barnes tells KIRO Radio's Gian Ursula he is staying in touch with the FBI about those potential threats in order to turn the cameras back on. Pierce County deputies say they need your help to find a hit-and-run driver who left a 32-year-old father in critical condition.
The victim, James Weinstein, was in a car with friends last Friday night around 10:30. They were on Canyon Road when Weinstein dropped his glasses out the car window. The driver turned around, and when Weinstein got out, he was hit by a pickup that kept going. Deputy Carly Capetto says they are looking for a dark-colored 1994 to 2000 model Chevy Silverado with front-end damage.
The front grille portion and the emblem of the Chevy had fallen off.
If you have any information, call 911. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
New lawsuit blames King County for floods that swamped Tukwila and Pacific last December. Dozens of residents and businesses filed it yesterday. They say the county let aging flood barriers deteriorate even though they knew they were at risk. County has not yet responded. Your weather update now, looking at cloudy skies and plenty of rain, windy conditions as well, and lots of mountain snow. Winter storm warning in effect for the Cascades until 11 o'clock tomorrow night. Right now, 50 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show listener introduction line. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show.
Yep.
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Oh, God.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeehaw!
All righty, there we go. All right. There we go. There's nothing sacred. What? Hee-haw, Aaron, is responding to a commercial that's running for Longevity Medical Clinic, by the way. Highly recommend you get in touch with Longevity Medical Clinic. And you have to listen to the spot, which is going to be played ad nauseum.
Oh, good.
Over the next, 6 weeks.
Can't wait.
Oh, Billy, you will at some point regret those words. We will play that over. I mean, if it's a great program, go, sign up, do it. But we have a tendency to really just take a commercial, a sponsor, and just drive it into the ground.
It's called gold rotation, baby. Let's go.
Well, no, I think it comes back on you after a while.
Yeah.
You don't doubt me?
No.
I'll explain more later. Let's get started with the show now. It's John Curley Show, Muckers Casino. Resort text line is still there. Yes, they are. 1-888-973-5476. All are welcome. You've been in an odd mood, Joe, ever since I gave you half that Snickers bar. Things have changed between the two of us. I can't quite understand what it is.
I don't know. I thought really perked me up.
Too many days in the rabbit hole. Joe tells me this is news, all the news that's put to print on 2 pieces of paper plus a staple because we want to stay organized.
Nice.
Talking to my brother today. It's always fun to check in with Chuck. We got on this subject. It's fun when he calls. He just launches right in. There's no hello, nothing. He just goes right into, and then he tells whatever the story is. It's like picking it up right in the middle of whatever.
I love it.
Just go right with it. It's great. Anyway, so he took me back to the days of being paddled at St. Aloysius, that he never got paddled. I got paddled a bunch of times. And then they used to mark the number of times you were paddled on your report card. And then the direct connection between paddles and D's and F's. And then he just right into that. Do you remember that? Remember? I go, oh, yeah. Remember they used to call you up and have you stand there, and then they would read your grades out loud?
I need you to give me Chuck's phone number.
Okay. By the way, he doesn't even answer mine. He just calls me.
That's okay.
Occasionally. All right, let's see. Take it back to those days. Plus, I'll tie it all into Singapore, and I will make it make sense, by the way. I will. I guarantee that. Do you remember the story?
That's a tease.
Yes, thank you, gassy old lady, for reframing from the asparagus or Brussels sprouts, whatever. Never mind. Do you remember, when was this that the guy decided to steal the Sky King plane? Was that
2018.
2018. Got on the thing, taxied it out. Apparently, it was not a trained pilot, but had done enough sort of stuff on, I guess, YouTube that he kind of figured it all out. And then there's now a documentary on it. I remember being here when it happened, and I remember the sound that was released right away. They took the stuff from air traffic control, and the air traffic control guy kind of trying to talk him back and talk him in.
I love this story.
You do? Why?
I do. There's something so endearing about him, and he's, clearly had mental health issues, and I think he was clearly suicidal, but also he went out in such a way that it just it grabbed the world's attention, and he didn't want to hurt anybody, and he didn't hurt anybody other than himself and his family emotionally. But I don't know. It's just something. I just love this guy.
I have a friend of mine. I'm going to see him tonight. He is 82, I think. He's been on the show a couple times, or once or twice. He flew for a Navy pilot.
Oh, yeah.
Jim. And when I asked him, and Chuck or Ryan and I were having lunch with him one day, and he's like, I said, we're 82. You think if you've been shot down a number of times, you've been in war, you killed, how do you want to go out? He goes, I tell you something, Curly. I go. Because he got a plane. He goes, I'm going to take that thing up. And then he explains the whole thing. I think it's a float plane. So then he says, let it just run out of gas. Just going to take that thing straight on in. And Chuck goes, Ryan, my son says, well, the glide slope on that thing. Hey, listen, Chuck, listen, Ryan here. Yeah. Just don't worry about it. And I have another friend who's a pilot. Same thing, same theory. And there is some people think there was one particular pilot, I think he was in his 90s, out near San Juan. You could look it up. He was 90-some years old and doing these big circles, right? They never confirmed, I don't think the family wants to even talk about it, that this guy was such a great pilot, there's no way he would have missed this turn. But he came around on the thing, right? I guess going this way, clockwise, and right on into the water.
Going out on his own terms.
Yeah. No, I write on music. Wow, I'm not even halfway through the show. Hang on. More. 25-year-old Jack Nicastro joins us from Reason. Some warnings about AI and what's going to be happening. Sam Altman would like $7 trillion in order to really get AI in place. Jack Nicastro coming from a libertarian point of view saying, we don't want the government involved in this. Look, we want AI, but we just don't start getting the government involved. Plus, Jack's leaving Reason behind. Oh. I know. Well, not Reason, the actual form of expressing yourself with logic. No, the business of Reason.com. And we'll talk about a bunch of other stuff. Plus, also a whole bunch of needles and 5 million pounds of trash being picked up. Is the big World Cup, a swindle going on? You can still buy tickets. I think one of them is available for $250,000.
Tickets still available.
What was that? And then also on our ongoing series of Kiss My Ass, Ferguson, this guy happens to be mayor of Lake Stevens. He's decided to move his family to Idaho. He'll be leaving as well because don't forget, we kept hearing from all of our lawmakers that it was, not true. Nobody's leaving. It's nothing more than a myth. We don't see any statistical evidence that people would leave or that there would be capital flight. So every week, we got one for you. We got our one guy that used to sell gold and silver here. His family had been here for 125 years. He's had the business more than 50. He's gone to Idaho. So every single week, we will bring forward one more person that just has had enough of it all. All right. Okay. Stop the music. Press the button. Press button here. Okay.
Nice.
Hold on. Don't. Let me get a drink of. It's good coffee. I was thinking. In Singapore, 2,000 people get caned a year. Now, they can cane you for a bunch of different things. Violent crime, you can get caned. You can get caned if you're, you steal something, you beat somebody up, they'll cane you. I think we even have some evidence of it. Are we allowed to show any of this, Joe?
No, we can't show it, and you can't really hear it. But there was the guy, I believe from Seattle, that was doing graffiti in Singapore, and he got famously publicly caned.
Right. So you go through the jury process, you go through the judge process, and then if the judge wants to, he can cane you. They'll take you into this about 2-3 weeks later. They don't let you actually know you're going to be caned, or they don't let you see the caning occur. Normally no more than 3 hits. There's a person who is well-trained in caning. They soak the reed before they hit you with it. And there is a doctor standing off to the side. You stand up, they bound your feet and your arms, and they normally whack you about 3 times. That's about it. It takes sometimes about a week or 3 weeks or sometimes even longer, depending if they were actually drawing blood and splitting the skin. So they practice on dummies, but then there's practicing on the dummy. Okay. Just basically showing how that's the guy's practicing on the dummy there. 3 whacks is normally what you end up getting, right? You're not allowed to see when you're standing there because they do it all in basically one day. They'll cane 3 or 4 people. You're not allowed to see the other people being caned. Here's the amazing thing about it. Recidivism in Singapore is really low for a number of reasons. It's not just the caning. It's also the fact that if you do go to prison, and very few people do go to prison, they have in fact, their homicide rate is 0.2. That's 0.2% of 100,000 people. State of Washington is 7 per 100,000, so we are 35 times greater chance of homicide occurring here in the state of Washington. But in Singapore, if you do go to prison, first of all, they test you for your literacy rate. They give you a math test. If you don't do well, and by well, I mean they are the number 1 country. They are the smartest country when it comes to reading and math. They have the highest scores every single year. They rank either first or second. So they see if you have any sort of problems there. Then they also test you for drugs and alcohol, and then they also give you therapy. So while you're in prison, they're bringing up your skills, and they're also testing to find out if you have additional problems as well, because they see it as an upstream problem. They don't want to have to necessarily cane you, but that's what they do. But very, very low recidivism rate there in Singapore. Now, of course, the state of Washington, it's a whole different story. We won't even bother comparing the two because there really is no comparison. Now it brings me back to St. Aloysius. At St. Aloysius, it happened 4 times a year. Sister Mary Owen would make a knock at the door, and then everybody would stand up. We all knew that she was coming, and we'd all say, "Good morning, Sister Mary Owen," like little robots. And then she would come in, and she would say to whoever, the Sister Honora or Sister Rose, whoever the teacher was, "Hello, Sister Honora. Hello, Sister Mary Owen." And we'd all be standing there, and then Sister Mary Owen would say, she's the principal, "Everyone can sit down now." Then we'd all sit down. And then, because we all sat alphabetically for our entire career there, I sat behind Michael Kineen, and I'd wait for him, and he would get up, and they would call each one of us. Robert Avellino would go up first, and we'd go through the whole group. And you'd stand beside her, right beside her, hands at your side, not in your pockets, not behind your back, and you'd stand there, and then she would go like this. That's what my brother brought up. She'd go, "What are the first 2 things I look for? Students, what's the first 2 things I look for before I look for anything else? Who knows? Who knows?" Mr. Milioni. Conduct and conduct? No, someone else. You got the
No.
conduct and what else? I look for conduct, right? Obedience. The 2 things. Conduct and obedience. The first 2 things I look for. And we actually got graded on that. She goes, "Because I could tell you right now, students, I can tell you right now, as long as I live and breathe, that if I see those numbers and those grades are low, then I know that every single other grade above that will also be low. I know your conduct and obedience will tell the story of everything else." And then also on the little page was the number of times that you had to go down there and get spanked. And it was amazing to see the numbers all corresponded. If you went and had bad conduct and you had poor self-control, then you ended up going down and having to meet the little wooden plank that didn't have a particular name, but they would give you a couple of whacks. And the worst part was, if you had bad grades, you stood there and all the other kids in class laughed at you as she would read out, D in reading, D in math, which is this whole list. And then you have to take a report card and go back down again. But I remember as a kid who had gone 3 or 4 times to be whacked with this paddle, I just kept thinking to myself that I deserve this. I'm not behaving myself. And eventually, at a certain point, I think I was like in 6th grade and they were still doing it. A nun takes me into the other room and she's got the door closed. And she said, you know what? How many times have you been in here? I said, I have lost track. I have no idea. She goes, I don't think this is having any effect upon you. And I said, certainly not. I mean, you keep hitting me in the rear. I think I got more of a head problem than a bottom problem. And she says, yeah, you know what? I'm going to let you go. But here's what I want you to do. I want your mother to give me a call. And I want her to call me because I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to teach you how to read because I'm tired of having to hit you with a paddle. I said, okay. And sure enough, this nun would come to our house once a week, go into the living room where my mother didn't clean up Mandy's occasional dried feces because it was a giant piece of Oriental rug. And we didn't see it. Nobody ever went in there. I mean, no judges. You know, go ahead and judge us about that if you want. And I remember going in there and occasionally the nun in her little black shoes would accidentally kick one of these hardened turds away. And I'd sit there on the couch and she would take this book and I would sit there and read with her. And I remember when I finally did graduate from there was probably no one prouder than the nun that was able to put away the paddle, to spare the paddle, and to actually give me a better chance to succeed in life. So, and Chuck brought that up today, said, do you remember that? She used to come to the house and the experience of smelling the Gina Tay filling the whole house.
The what?
Gina Tay. It was a perfume or whatever. It was some sort of weird cologne that we used to give the nuns for Christmas presents. Everybody gave them Gina Tay. You don't know what Gina Tay is?
No.
It was a great big bottle. It had a lemon on top, like a little plastic lemon on top.
I'm surprised.
It sounds vulgar.
Gina Tay sounds vulgar?
Think about it.
Yeah.
Gina Tay.
Yeah.
Nope. Don't get that thing. Gina Tay. Gina.
La.
Gina. La. So, okay, here's Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
Very good. In Bellevue, North 405 and Southeast 8, the stall will just move to your left shoulder, but it was there long enough to create a bumper-to-bumper backup to I-90. So beyond that, you're crowded from Kirkland into Canyon Park. Bellevue to Everett's at 50 minutes, 35 to Linwood. Seattle to Everett, just a 40-minute drive, half hour to Linwood. Starting to fill in between Shoreline and Mill Creek, but nothing too heavy yet. Everett to Marysville, doing great, less than 10 minutes. South 405 is packed from Southeast 8th and Bellevue through Cold Creek Parkway before things start to thin out. Bellevue to South Center, we're up to 40 minutes. Got another thick backup through South Center. South 5 heading into Seattle slows at Northeast 50th to the West Seattle Bridge. Linwood to Seattle, 25 minutes. And Seattle to Federal Way just went up a few minutes. We're at 45-minute commute, and it's packed from MLK Junior Way all the way down to State Route 516. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. I know what it's like. I'm telling you, that hair begins to thin, and that crown disappears. It just starts to rob you of your identity because you think, well, I'm not a bald guy. What's going on? That's how I felt before I visited Advanced Hair. You see, Advanced Hair has a simple one-day treatment. They regrew my own natural hair. They do the exact same thing for you because, let's face it, it's going away and it's not coming back. It's not leaving a forwarding address. You can find it there in your pillow. It's in the shower. It's in the comb, wherever it is. And you keep trying to get different haircuts. And maybe you'll just, part it here or part it there. You're parting with your hair. So what do you want to do? You want your hair back. It's as simple as that. You set up a free consultation, get $250 and 250 free hair graft by calling 425-449-8185. And you don't want to wait because your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. Get this, Advanced Hair is once again the 425 Business of the Year, and that's 2 years in a row for Advanced Hair. 425-449-8185. 425-449-8185. Check out the before and after pictures right there at advancedhair.com.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with my buddy Dave Taylor from First Mark Insurance. You know, Dave, I love sport. You love sport. And I love sitting with coaches and hearing their game plan each and every week. What are the keys to a First Mark Insurance game plan?
It's a great question, Brock. I think there's really 3 keys to a great game plan with us. Number 1 is we want to make sure that our clients have the correct coverage for their unique specific needs. So that's number 1. Do you have the right coverage? Number 2, once we have the right coverage, are we getting that coverage at the most competitive price possible? And then last and not least would be, once we have the right coverage at the most competitive price, are we providing world-class service to those customers so that when they need it, they have someone there that's got their back?
Those are the 3 keys to a First Mark Challenge victory. And man, am I so glad Molly and I took the challenge. We are one of so many through a decade plus of being a First Mark Challenge victory. You can too. Just simply go to firstmarkinsurance.com, firstmarkinsurance.com.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at washingtonaccidentbooks.com.
You can count on the Seattle Times for trusted local news and information. The Seattle Times is one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country right here in the Pacific Northwest. Take a closer look with the Seattle Times. Dig into investigative journalism that holds those in power accountable. Discover a new perspective. Gain a deeper understanding. Learn something new about where we live. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletimes.com/subscribe.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Not sure how to tackle your taxes? Are you sweating the small print? You may be experiencing FOMO, the fear of messing up. The answer? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it, with a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. It's time to take your taxes to the max. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from Nunn Better Tax Resolution. So, Greg, not all tax resolution companies are the same. There are some that are definitely not local. There are others that don't quite know what they're doing even.
Well, I tell you, these ads that all of us hear, Fresh Start program, they make you feel like, hey, man, I can just easy peasy get my taxes written off. No. And I've had several clients actually come to me after going through that process, and they just get no response after a while. They're passed around from person to person. That doesn't happen at my firm.
You are familiar with the cases that come in. You're working on them.
I'm familiar with every case that comes into our office. And I know what's going on and have the ability to really advise our taxpayers very well on what to do.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. Nunn Better Tax Resolution, from stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. Nunn Better Tax Resolution.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granello, cleaning up ahead of the World Cup in Seattle. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay explains.
A new Seattle Clean City report shows crews and volunteers removed 5.3 million pounds of trash last year, including more than 660,000 needles. It took nearly 32,000 volunteer hours to make it happen. Seattle is getting ready for 750,000 visitors later this year for the World Cup. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Some tough times at Tacoma Parks. The agency says a looming $3 million budget deficit could mean new cuts to services and staff this summer. This comes after a $4 million deficit just last year. News Tribune reports it is partly due to several revenue sources that fell through. Boeing's first quarter deliveries are up, the highest number since the pandemic. KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon has the numbers.
Boeing delivered 143 jets in the first 3 months of the year. For the commercial airplanes programs, they announced today that they delivered 114 737s. The company did say it needs to repair damaged wiring in about 25 of its 737 MAX jets.
Shares of Boeing jumped on the news. The company is set to deliver its quarterly earnings report next week. A quantum computing company says it'll add up to 2,000 jobs over the next 5 years, part of a big expansion in Bothell. That company, IonQ, says it'll hire an initial 100 engineers over the next year and a half. Ray Stephenson is president of Economic Alliance, Snohomish County.
What these companies realized is we've got that embedded base of employees that know this culture.
And the governor's office says it is investing $500,000 to support that expansion. Costco is firing back as its $5 rotisserie chicken is accused of being unsafe. The Issaquah-based company is asking a federal judge in Seattle to toss a proposed class action lawsuit. It alleges salmonella concerns tied to a Nebraska poultry supplier. Costco rejects that claim, says its rotisserie chicken is fully cooked, a process that kills the bacteria. The case is now in a judge's hands. Now to the real-time traffic desk at 3:32. We check in with Nate Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. It's 35 minutes north 5 through downtown Seattle. You're backed up from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. South 5 slows from the U District to the West Seattle Bridge. Linwood to Seattle pushing a half hour. Seattle to Everett, 45-minute drive. Bellevue to Everett at 55 minutes. Our lake bridges are doing great. We've got that usual westbound 520 backup starting in Montlake. South 405 packed from Southeast 8 through Cold Creek Parkway. Then you'll thin out. Bellevue to South Center, 35 minutes. Got another thick backup through South Center. Seattle to Federal Way is at 45 minutes. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, a 50-minute commute now. You've got scattered backups from Renton all the way into Puyallup. It gets thick at State Route 18, and we have a new collision through Alderwood, southbound 405 at Damson Road. This one taking up your 2 right lanes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Wet and windy this afternoon and gusty along some stretches of the coastline. We'll also see plenty of mountain snow the next couple of days. Right now, 48 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Covered Alliance. No, don't say the songs are only for the right. No. It's a Bush Bucky's gets the song. Home Covered Alliance when it comes to heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. Can't stop myself. Home Covered Alliance. Home Covered Alliance. No, stop, Joe. Come on now.
Come on, Joe.
Joe, that's not who. Home Comfort Alliance. Home Comfort Alliance. Okay, that's it. Stop. I I remember being here when this happened. It was 2018. A guy named Rick Russell got into Havilland Beaver, de Havilland Dash 8400 over there at SeaTac Airport. 2018. Man, oh man. He didn't have a pilot's license, but he worked there at SeaTac, so he was able to get onto the runways. Then he backed the thing up, took it out, and figured out how to get the thing up into the air. And off it went. It was an hour-long flight. And he talked to the tower. Oregon Air National Guard set 2 jets up, I guess, to try to intercept him. And he was just flying and just wanted to just sort of see what it's like. Always wanted to do it. And he knew they didn't know how to land the thing. And now there's a documentary about his life. One of the reasons they wouldn't have the documentary was a number of family friends that thought that they weren't really portraying the individual as they should. What's your favorite cut from this thing, Joe?
Let me play the trailer.
Okay. All right.
Is this hard to talk about?
Yeah.
Seattle ground, about to take off. It's going to be crazy.
He was not the type of person to behave like that.
We had a very serious situation.
I did a kind of a bad thing.
So you hijacked the plane is what you're saying?
Yeah.
This is a major metropolitan area. Thousands of people could be killed. He hasn't flown an airplane before.
How did he get that plane in the air by himself? I couldn't believe it.
I play video games, so, I know what I'm doing a little bit.
Do you have an idea of how much fuel you have left?
Holy smokes, it's going down quick.
In an hour, he's going to fall out of the sky. The only way out where nobody dies is if he lands the plane successfully.
You're probably going to send some jets because, I could be a bad guy.
I'm requesting military assistance. He just made a threat.
I've never heard him say that. He could never be a bad guy. He was always a good guy.
I got a lot of people that care about me. It's going to disappoint them.
15 minutes of fuel.
One of my engines is going out or something.
Oh my God, he's going to crash.
Oh, man, I'm sick. I want you to whisper sweet nothings through my ear.
I don't think I can do that for you.
Damn it, people's lives are at stake here. Hey, you think this thing can do a barrel roll?
Trying to figure out how to use the autopilot first.
Boring.
He's going upside down. Holy. Can we cut the cameras?
This is probably like jail time for life, huh?
Sky King is the name of the documentary. Why do you find this to be so exhilarating, Joe?
I find it to be fascinating because, clearly he wanted to go out on his own terms.
Yes.
He took an incredible risk, clearly thought this out a little bit, taught himself how to fly, apparently by watching YouTube videos and playing video games. And then he did it. And he didn't hurt anybody. And I'm sure he scared a lot of people. And it's nothing, there's nothing glamorous about taking your own life, but just something about the way he did it, the conversations he has. There's about 10 to 15 minutes of audio. I listened to all of it again today and certainly did at the time. And it's just so fascinating, the conversation he has with the different air traffic controllers and how they're trying to, kind of keep him calm and how he's keeping them calm. And there's just, it's a really.
It was it's an hour-long flight. I listened to the sound again, the conversation, and it almost spans a lifetime.
Yeah.
Because you have the exhilaration of the experience. That's youth, right? Experiencing new things. Somebody telling you to control yourself. And he is ecstatic in the experience of flying, which he's never done before, all by himself. So he has almost like a childlike exuberance, right?
Yes.
Of exploration. Then you have the adult on the ground telling him to be careful, right? And concerned for his safety. Then the seriousness of things, he then begins to perceive seeing the world and the beauty of it, right?
Yeah.
From up here, I've never seen things like this up here. Wow, look how cool this is and that is. If you think about it this way, you are listening to a human being go through a lifetime and then to the end.
Yes.
And at the end, he realizes once the fuel is down and now I have no choice out, right? Because no one gets out of here alive. He's not going to land it because he's not going to land your life and then your life goes on. And then you hear the desperation where he's coming to the realization that this is the end, right? It is. And if you think about it in that context, that's what I was thinking, listening to it. And it was his own choice, how he wanted to go. Do you feel sorry for him?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's clearly something in his life was not okay, and that led to this. But you can also hear he just seems like a good guy. You know? And it comes through.
Yeah, I could see where his friends and relatives don't want the final page to be written that he was an awful guy that stole a plane and didn't care and was, a bad guy. Well, like when they send the jets up for him.
Yeah, and then they kind of take his comments out of context when they say, "Oh, he just made a threat." Like there was nothing that he said.
He said, "I could be a bad guy."
Yeah, but
That's not it.
Nobody took it that way, So of course, they had to be worried because what if he was, and he could have been crazy, and you don't know, what if he's saying is true. But he didn't never said, "I'm going to hurt people" or "I'm going to fly this into a populated area." In fact, he said the exact opposite.
Here's where the air traffic control recommends landing there at JBLM.
The runway just off your right side in about a mile. Do you see that? That's McCord Field.
Oh man, those guys will rough me up if I tried landing there. I think I might mess something up there too. I wouldn't want to do that. Hopefully, they probably got anti-aircraft.
No, they don't have any of that stuff. We're just trying to find a place for you to land safely.
Yeah, not quite ready to bring it down just yet, but holy smokes, I gotta stop looking at the fuel because it's going down quick.
Okay, Rich, if you could you start a left-hand turn, and we'll take you down to the southeast, please.
This is probably like jail time for life, huh? I would hope it is for a guy like me.
It's right there at that point. He said, well, not ready to take it down yet. Whether he was not being honest with the guy or he was still thinking he had wanted to keep his options open, that he would be able to land somewhere. Yeah. But I think he realized that, I don't know, I can't remember from the sound back and forth where he had finally made the decision that, no, I'm not going to bring it in. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to. He did say, can it do a barrel roll? He
did. That was right at the end too. So he realized when the fuel got exceptionally low, he does the barrel roll. He asked the air traffic controller if he could instruct him how to do it, and then he does it. Almost according to air traffic control, was 10 feet above the water. It certainly looked like it, and then it was shortly thereafter where he downed it, and I think. In the least populated area he could possibly find. Yeah,
to have a loved one take their life in such a public manner, right? And then to have so much of the speculation and then the sound of it. I mean, if you lost your son or daughter to suicide, there's all the stuff that goes on in the minds of the parents and the loved ones because there's something we could have done and how much of it is my fault and why didn't I look for the signs of this? There's a lot of, self emotional harm that goes with that.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, then to have it public and to hear his words and hear his voice, I commend the parents when they were asked. I guess they gave the permission for this, obviously, for the documentary because they sat down with the documentarians to give their sort of side of it, to basically say that Richard Bebo Russell was not a bad guy.
Right. And I can't obviously speak for them, but you would think if you had to go through something like that, the audio, the sound almost would bring you whatever comfort there is to be had. It would give you a little bit.
Yeah.
More than just, he disappears. And
it's the way how media handles stuff. So in Australia, because in the mid-90s, they decided that there were two. Well, I'll tell you what they did in Australia back in the mid-90s. That's your cheese, Fred. First, there's Nick. Nick. She just texted me. Here's Nate checking traffic. I'm not married to Nate.
No, sir. Not yet. The day is young. Alderwood, South 405 at Damson Road, a collision blocks 2 right lanes. That's why you're backed up to bumper to the I-5 interchange. 35 minutes north 5 through downtown Seattle. That backup starts at the Michigan Curve. South 5 slows from the U District to the West Seattle Bridge this afternoon. Linwood to Seattle at 25 minutes. Southbound 405 is packed from South Bellevue near Southeast 8th through Coal Creek Parkway. And then you'll thin out, but it doesn't clear out till you get to the Renton Landing. And just briefly near the Valley Freeway is where it thickens up again all the way through South Center. So Bellevue to South Center is at 35 minutes. North 405, we're stop and go between South Center and the Renton Landing. South Center to Bellevue is at a half hour. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, 50 minutes. And we've got scattered backups from Renton all the way to Puyallup at State Route 18. This really gets tough. And Tacoma to Olympia, 45 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nathan. If you got a bad shoulder, elbow, wrist, knee, you know what it is. You used to run, but now your knees really hurt. You used to ski. Now you can't because your knees hurt. You play softball or tennis, but you can't because your shoulder's bad. You gain up this stuff. And it gave you a lot of pleasure. You played on a softball team, and then you just have to sit in the stands and watch. Same thing with skiing. Gave that up, and running, biking. A whole bunch of stuff is not on your list of things to enjoy because, well, you just feel like you're getting old. There's nothing you can do. So then you say, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to a doctor. I'm going to see if a surgeon can fix this problem. And when you start to ask the questions like, what is the percentage of me getting, full rotation back of the shoulder? How about my knees and knee pain? And they tell you, and they also tell you what the cost is. And then you think, okay, is there anything else I can do? How about a stem cell procedure? A stem cell procedure by Dr. Mark Wagner, who's done 20,000 of these stem cell procedures. He's got 30 years of experience, and it's a 90-minute outpatient procedure. And you could find yourself like so many other people that are no longer bothered by bad shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, and knees. Just like myself. No more bad hip for me. drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Thinking about starting weight loss treatment? GoodRx is here to help. We offer FDA-approved GLP-1 medications prescribed by licensed providers, including the Wegovy tablet, with straightforward pricing and pickup at your local pharmacy or delivery to your door. All from America's #1 prescription app. Go to goodrx.com/weight loss to get started. GoodRx is not insurance. Cancel anytime. #1 prescription app ranked by a third-party study.
Taxes was waiting on the refund you needed yesterday.
All right, your car repair is going to run about $3,000.
Now Taxes is getting back on the road with TurboTax and Credit Karma, where you can get your refund up to 5 days faster and get personalized guidance to take every dollar further. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Deposit a federal refund into Credit Karma Money account and early submission of refund data by IRS required. Terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc. Member FDIC. Credit Karma is not a bank.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Let Olympic help you create the ultimate home contrast therapy studio. Pair relaxing Tilo sauna with our revitalizing Vigor cold plunge. Save up to $5,000 when you buy both. These massive savings end April 30th.
Washington's lottery gives out a lot of green to winners in schools and retailers awesomely. Nearly 600 mil to people that play. Another 180 mil to vocational training and education from preschool to college. Now you got the knowledge, a win-win for all of us. Play Washington's lottery, lottery, lottery. Play Washington's lottery, lottery, yeah.
Visit walottery.com. Who benefits to learn more.
All right, yo, Michael Sugar, no resort text line 1-888-973-5476. Sorry, before the break, we don't want to in any way condone the idea of somebody taking their life in some sort of there's glamour or a celebrity that goes with it. This is such a odd occurrence that occurred in front of everybody with the recording of all of it. So then the watch the documentary. When does it come out? Sky King?
Came out last night.
Yeah. And you'll hear from the parents and the people that loved Richard Russell. There was, as I started to say going in the break, there were a number of suicides occurring in Australia, and they decided that it was in 2002, or even earlier than that. They said, we're not going to let the media report on these things anymore. They said, we want to test it for just 1 year or 2 years. If we stop doing the stories about somebody jumping off a bridge or somebody doing something else, will the numbers go down? And they did go down. So then there's sort of an unwritten rule in media in the United States, I'm assuming across the world, that we don't report the stories. If you hear about there's a problem on the roadways, we never report that somebody jumped. We never do that. We never talk about the people coming off the Aurora Bridge, although they now put things in place to stop that sort of stuff. And media has all agreed, although it's not written down anywhere, we don't talk about it because there is science behind it to show that if you do, it kind of gives somebody the permission. Oh, okay, they did it, then I'll do it.
Like
it makes sense.
Contagious a little bit.
Yeah. What is it called? The Werner effect. Yeah.
I don't know.
Werther effect, a rumor supply following publications. Yeah. So the idea it starts the suicide clusters that go with it.
And I mean, to that point, and I doubt this was inspired by the Sky King, but it was only just in 2024 in July when the former astronaut Major General Anders crashed his plane. You were talking about that near the San Juan
Islands.
Islands.
I don't know if he did. His family still says that it wasn't intentional.
Yeah, but
he was doing big barrel rolls, right?
Yeah, I think, and he was an astronaut. I mean, he lived. That was his entire world was aviation and space. And he's 90 years old. Probably at the at the end of the road there, and he decides, you know what, my road is in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And you can understand.
I got a pilot friend of mine. I asked him the other day. He said, "Oh yeah, I just nope. Kind of to be in a plane. They love to be in a plane. So." And again, there's no. It's such a strange thing, isn't it? Right, because it is your own life,
right?
Right. And if you have sort of a nihilistic Albert Camus, who wrote *The Stranger* and *The Plague*, Albert Camus, one of his lines was, should I kill myself or have a cup of coffee? The basic absurdity of existence. Why do we live in the first place? You can get into that's like sitting around smoking a joint in college and talking about that sort of stuff. But you have to remember the family that you will leave behind,
right.
And how are they? Because it is in a way selfish. I get that, but it is your life. But you should also be thinking of others that be directly involved with the actions. And I remember when I went to my financial advisor after the second divorce, and I said to her, "Hey, do I have enough money to make it to 80?" And she said, "No, not anymore." I said, "Do I have enough money to make it to 75? Maybe 75. She goes, "So what's your plan going to be?" And I said, "Well, I'll just be done. I'll just do I'm not going to be broke." And she goes, "You don't know the number of people that say, oh, their plan is to just,
Really?
Yeah. Because they always say that, but nobody does it. They end up just finding some way to make some extra money. And
well, if you're 90 years old and you're a former astronaut and you have your own plane and you have a safe place to crash it, Godspeed.
I get that. But if you have any thoughts about that, you should, if you are somebody that you should definitely seek some help and talk to people because you still have much to give to this world. Here's Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
Thank you, John. Mount Lake Terrace, we have a new collision. North 5 at State Route 104. It's blocking 2 left lanes. That includes the HOV lane. We're backed up in the North Gate. That is a thick backup. Seattle to Everett up to 50 minutes, a half hour to Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, 50 minutes, 35 to Linwood. Pretty solid now from Bellevue to Alderwood, but we're moving at a decent pace through most of this. In Alderwood, our collision south 405 at Damson Road has been cleared to your right shoulder. It's still solid, though, approaching the I-5 interchange. But once you get through this backup, you're good to go all the way till you reach Bellevue. And then once you get into Bellevue, it is thick from basically 520 all the way off and on into Renton. Here in Seattle, 35 minutes North 5 through downtown. It's backed up from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. And we have a high wind advisory at the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO News Radio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app.
Hey, this is Jake Skorheim, and you know what they say, April showers bring May clogged and overflowing gutters. However, Valentine Roofing, they've got you covered. Right now, you can bundle and save 10% off your entire job when you add new gutters to any new roofing project. Plus, with flexible financing available and payments as low as $159 a month, Valentine makes it easy. Schedule your free roofing and gutter estimate today to bundle and save 10%. Just call 206 Roofing. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, a well-insulated attic can be your home's secret weapon. Upgrading attic insulation is a cost-effective way to make your home more energy efficient. It also helps keep your home warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Better insulation equals better air quality, less moisture, and no mold, improving the air quality you and your family breathe. Call now for $300 off attic ceiling and ventilation, and visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Nick, you know what my dad always used to say?
Oh, which thing? Let me guess. If you put anything on a hot dog besides mustard, it's un-American?
Okay, that's true. Okay, but no, about the word worry. Remember he used to say about the word worry?
Yes, that it's not a verb, but it actually is.
I know it's a verb, but Nick, his point was nothing comes from worrying. You can sit here and worry about all the news and all about the chaos in the world. You worry about your health, but nothing comes of it. You have to take action.
Right.
Like, for instance, you and I, we go into Longevity Medical Clinic. That's an action. It's about taking that action. Like, people can go to Longevity Medical Clinic, take the free health analysis, and then they can find out how they're aging and the things they can do in order to slow down the process to have a big, full, rich life so you can enjoy a hot dog with whatever you want on it.
And now worry is a verb.
See, there you go. So it all starts for you taking action. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
The Jake and Spike Show.
I check it late at night when my wife's not looking.
Weekdays noon to 3.
My favorite thing on my phone, which is my weather app.
First thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
On KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM and the KIRO News Radio app.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco-bill, and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Let's talk about artificial intelligence.
I cannot answer that.
Many professions are using it, and allegedly some are even being taken over by it. At 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we know police are leveraging AI, whether it's analyzing body cam footage, reading license plates, or even facial recognition. AI has become a helpful tool, enabling officers to work more efficiently. And efficiency for them means more people getting pulled over. You can't chat GPT your way out of a high BAC. Getting legal advice from AI is no substitute for an attorney. Use AI correctly, or it can result in trouble, like a self-driving car taking you home from a bar.
You have reached your destination.
So call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com. If you get pulled over for DUI, the only thing you need your smart device to do is call 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY!
Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Another accuser, this time in California, has come forward alleging she was raped in 2018 by former California Congressman Eric Swalwell. At least 4 women have made claims against Swalwell, and 2 of them spoke with Nancy Cordes in a CBS News exclusive.
At one point, they both say he asked them if they wanted to switch over to Snapchat, which is this social media app that is popular with a lot of young people, where messages and photos disappear after they've been viewed. Both of them said that once they started talking to him on Snapchat, the tenor of the conversation soon changed and he became more suggestive.
Democratic Senator Ruben Gallego of Arizona says of Swalwell,
my friendship with him, our family's friendship together with him, clouded my judgment. And I was wrong. I deeply, deeply regret that.
Also, the resignation of Congressman Tony Gonzalez of Texas takes effect at 11:59 tonight. He admitted to an affair with a staffer who later died by suicide. There were talks today in Washington between Lebanon and Israel. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
The State Department praised the sides for what it called productive discussions. Israel's ambassador to the U.S. said the 2 countries are on the same side when it comes to the Iranian-backed militant group Hezbollah.
We are both united in liberating Lebanon from an occupation power dominated by Iran called Hezbollah.
Hezbollah opposes the talks and was not represented.
A former gynecologist at UCLA pleads guilty to sexual abuse charges after an appeals court overturned his conviction in February due to a juror issue. Dr. James Heaps had previously been sentenced to 11 years in prison. In court today, he pleaded guilty to 13 felonies and has again been sentenced to 11 years. L.A. County DA Nathan Hochman.
From now on, James Heaps is not known as Dr. James Heaps. He will be known for history and for the ensuing years as convicted felon James Heaps.
New research says a substantial amount of medical information coming from popular chatbots is inaccurate or incomplete.
Nicholas Tiller is a research associate at UCLA's Lundquist Institute for Biomedical Innovation.
49.6% of responses were problematic. Of those responses, 30% were somewhat problematic, and 20%, so that's 1/5, were highly problematic.
The researchers questioned 5 popular chatbots. Grok had the most highly problematic responses, Gemini the fewest. The problem, Tiller says, is we're asking chatbots to answer questions they're not equipped for.
They can't make value-based judgments, and they can't even weigh different sources of information.
Michael Toscano, CBS News.
This is CBS News.
The stars shine brighter on CBS Morning.
This is a slam dunk.
So cute.
Gail came in singing for me today.
On CBS Mornings.
Coming up, Seattle's police chief talks surveillance ahead of the World Cup. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thank you, Aaron. In Mountain Lake Terrace, just like that, we cleared that crash. North 5 at State Route 104. We're backed up in the North Gate. More backups in front of that from Linwood through Mill Creek, all added up. Seattle to Everett, 55 minutes. Bellevue to Everett, just hit 1 hour. We're solid from Bellevue all the way to Alderwood. Everett to Seattle, just 35 minutes, 20 from Linwood. It gets packed at the Ship Canal Bridge or the West Seattle Bridge. Same story on the east side. Everett to Bellevue, 40 minutes, 25 from Linwood. You've got this backup in Alderwood still to get through due to an earlier crash near Damson Road. Crossing the lake from Bellevue into Seattle, right around 20 minutes on either 520 or I-90. South 405, we're packed from Southeast 8th and Bellevue to Cold Creek Parkway. You'll thin out down to the Renton Landing. You'll clear out just briefly through the S-curves and then stacked up again through South Center. So Bellevue to South Center, we're at 45 minutes. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, 50 minutes and 40 minutes through downtown Seattle on northbound I-5. Your backup starts at the Michigan Curve. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Seattle's police chief is now weighing in on not being allowed to use the city's closed-circuit cameras to help monitor crowds during the World Cup this summer. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more.
The city's cameras dotting Pioneer Square and other strategic areas will be off limits to police and the Emergency Operations Center unless there's a credible threat. That's the directive from Mayor Katie Wilson. Chief Sean Barnes says the cameras have been helpful tracking down suspects recently.
The cameras actually assisted in 17 homicide cases, but were able to help to solve 10 of those. But this decision is out of my hands.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Police are trying to find out who shot a 17-year-old boy early this morning near Rainier Beach High School in Seattle. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has the latest.
SPD says the shooting happened just after 3 a.m. near the Atlantic City boat launch in the Seward Park neighborhood. The 17-year-old victim was in a car with two other boys, 13 and 17, when someone opened fire. SPD Detective Brian Pritchard.
They were driving on Seward Park Avenue South when gunshots were heard and the victim was shot inside the vehicle.
King County deputies found the teen in the Skyway neighborhood. He told them he was shot near Seward Park. So far, no arrests have been made. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A third suspect has been arrested in a major theft case targeting older adults in and around Bellevue. Police say SWAT officers served a search warrant at a Kirkland home on Friday, took 3 people into custody, including a woman wanted for robberies in California and another suspect wanted for felony theft in Oregon. Investigators say that group targeted seniors at a Bellevue assisted living center and nearby grocery store, stealing high-value jewelry. The Edgewater neighborhood between Everett and Mukilteo is about to get its bridge back. The 18-month-long project cut that neighborhood in two, creating long delays for residents like Sid and Judy.
It needed doing. It's going to be better than it was. So, we're okay with it. It's just that it's been, a hassle. And it's gone a lot longer than original.
The bridge set to reopen in 2 weeks on April 28th. Now to your weather updates. Looking at a lot of rain out there and mountain snow as well. Winter weather advisory for the mountains through tomorrow night at 11 o'clock. Wind advisory for the coast until about 7 o'clock tonight. And right now, upper 40s across the map, 48 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show listener introduction line. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show.
Yes,
Thank you.
Man, the guy that was the fertile dad joke guy. Oh, yeah. He sounded a lot like me. That was weird. And it really wasn't me. Guarantee you that. I know. But if you want me to act like that guy, I guess, then God. What kind of pants do ghost hunters wear? I don't know what kind of pants a ghost hunter wear. What kind of pants do ghost hunters wear? I don't know. What kind? What kind of pants do ghost hunters? What kind of pants? Yeah, what kind of pants do ghost hunters wear? That's Andrew, why do you do this? A paranormal pants. Oh my God. Whose idea was this? Is this still a good idea to have just listeners randomly just start the show?
Well, maybe we shouldn't have such long ones right before guests are coming.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right there, Joe. On you on that one. 2 points off for you. Here he comes. Jack the Castro. That's right. You want to hear from a libertarian with a slight odor of tobacco that he is proud of on his lungs and coming out of his mouth. He's 25 years old. And by the way, I wanted to find out,
Jack, I wanted to find out what's the difference between romantic love and platonic love. So I read some piece you wrote in 2023. I'm like, I am deep into the Jack Nicastro entire life of your high school and then all of your college stuff because I'm such a big fan of the work you do at Reason. So the reason we had on today is because AI is getting a chance. We get a chance to see how Congress and the Senate is all coming together to protect us from AI. And you see nothing but bad things to come from this.
Yeah, John, I guess you're referring there to Bernie Sanders and AOC's brilliant plan to have a nationwide data center ban. By the way, supposedly to enfranchise and empower local communities to prevent the construction of data centers. But I'm going to let you in on a little secret.
Yes.
Land use regulations, zoning, that's already a local, municipal, county power. No preemption is needed to empower localities to exclude data centers.
I want to give you, it seems like they always say you see the old guys that are in there testifying. I think when Mark Zuckerberg's up there, so how do so people get my face tube and they so that's on a PFD. They don't know what they're talking about, right? Here's a perfect example of it. In the state of Washington, they set up an AI task force for climate and energy, right? They only had one meeting. You could watch it online, but this gives you some idea. This is a woman that is somehow involved in this. This is the state of Washington's AI task force. They're discussing climate energy. They got a little group together, and I grabbed this. Todd Myers turned me on to this. This is somebody, I assume, somehow involved in government explaining AI and your television.
Inventions that are AI-based. For example, when it comes to climate and energy, I didn't know this, and it makes sense that you can automate your power in a TV. So you can have a TV that doesn't need a plug. It either takes the energy out of the environment, like whatever the AI does, right? We're talking nanotechnology.
Jack, hey, stop making faces. Hang on.
All kinds of stuff already out there. So there is already a process out there where you can self-power a TV. I don't know if there's any actual those type of TVs on the market. Is that something that I believe is out there? I've never seen it with my own eyes. Absolutely. I'm a person, I live in this world, and there's smart people out there.
This was the state of Washington put this thing together, the AI task force to talk about climate and energy. And that's some of the stuff that you're getting. The rest of it was quite remarkable in their complete lack of understanding what AI is. But boy, they want to control it, and they don't want you to have it or somebody else to have it. And they want to make sure that it doesn't affect people in a negative way.
Yeah. Again, I hate to cast aspersions at people's motivations, so I'll refrain from doing so.
Okay.
I'll just say that I'm generally not surprised by the ignorance of politicians, but believing in effectively a perpetual motion machine. Did this person graduate from high school? Are they familiar with the principle of conservation of energy? Matter, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. There's a fixed amount. You just move between one form or another. Didn't we learn about this?
Well, she says she hasn't seen it with her own two eyes, but she knows it's out there because there's smart people to invent it. But more importantly, I think it really tells a story that they had one meeting and they never had another one again. Joe has grabbed a bunch of different things. How do you feel about Sam Altman? Obviously, the people that are throwing stuff, trying to set him on fire or blow up his house or hurt him in some way, obviously they're mentally ill, but something's motivating them to go out there and want to harm Sam Altman.
Yeah. So, of course, I condemn any and all violent actions, and this is no exception. I would say I've seen some talk online about kind of the AI risk community, the AI naysayers, the doomers, are somehow responsible for the actions of individuals who have chosen to commit these acts of violence. There was also a shooting at, I believe, a Indianapolis city councilman's house last week, shortly before the Molotov cocktail was thrown at Sam Altman's house. And, if you publish a book called If anybody builds it, everybody dies, you are still not responsible for the immoral and illegal violent actions of crazy people. So I would like to disabuse your listeners or any that believe that, like, the doomers with whom I am in stark disagreement, but they're not responsible for these crazy people's actions. And I think we should keep that in mind.
What happens? Because just to understand that AI will be the collecting of all information. That's the first step of AI. Then it starts to think. The third step is where it begins to think on its own, create its own, where all of a sudden there's no influence from us as human beings into this. It becomes solely its own generating source of knowledge, whatever knowledge is, and then it begins to make the decisions without us in regard to the outcome of those decisions. And they say that's the third step of it. They don't know when that happens, 2040 or something like that. How is society to be best served, and how will society be destroyed by AI as a libertarian?
Yeah, I think that we should be really skeptical of the doomsday claims. We've already existed with the technology that was developed in, I'm going to get this wrong. Well, it was deployed at the end of World War II, right? The atom bomb. And we have had ICBMs that require, I'm not a military expert, but I've seen movies, I've seen war games, I love the 1980s. To deploy an ICBM and effectively kick off a chain reaction of nuclear weapons that ends the world required just two human beings, inserting the keys in and turning them simultaneously and deploying a nuclear missile. That's pretty horrifying in theory. And yet even that barrier, that impediment has been enough and continues to be enough to prevent us from killing each other and destroying the world.
Yes.
So if we haven't destroyed ourselves with nuclear weapons, I don't think that we need to. We shouldn't be overly credulous about the claims that are being made by people who stand to benefit from the deployment of the technology. We shouldn't be gullible. But I don't think that being anxious and certainly throwing Molotovs or aggressing people is in no way an appropriate response, nor is it called for. And I'd like to emphasize that so far we've seen AI really improve our lives. I mean, myself as a journalist, it makes researching and compiling and getting information that's of use to the public. I mean, it's really expedited that. It's probably reduced the time it takes me to write an article by, I don't know, maybe 50%.
Mm-hmm.
That's true with a lot of knowledge workers, a lot of white collar workers. And if at some point the AI replaces me and you can get reasonably good antitrust and AI coverage at a fraction of the price, that's good for society. And I'll find another job.
Do we have a moral obligation to, in some way, restrain AI in order to make sure that society and the individual in society still has a place?
Yeah, I think that regardless of how powerful and how productive AI becomes, there will always be places and roles and positions for humans in society. And people who are claiming otherwise believe in this thing economists refer to as the lump of labor fallacy, which holds that there's a fixed number of jobs in the economy. And whenever some are automated away, that permanently diminishes the total number of jobs. And by that logic, none of us would be working since the Industrial Revolution kicked off. But that's not true. There are more people, many more people, thanks to that technology, making it easier to grow food and have more goods and services. And we all have jobs, save for those of us who are unemployed.
Yes. When, God forbid that ever happens to you. Hey, can I?
I think I'll figure it out.
Okay, good. Can I? Something I struggle with. So you read Ayn Rand. I know you have as well, Fountainhead, right? And Atlas Shrugged, which, by the way, I think is still one of the most popular books ever written around the world. I'm going to give you a little bit of Ayn Rand and, her objectivism and the idea of, like, she's a true libertarian. The use of wealth created by others against their will. This is what we're experiencing here in the state of Washington. We now are about to have an unconstitutional income tax that could be dropped on top of us. But here she is basically explaining in a really just cold-hearted way how society and how individuals need to respond to each other.
When you admit that you want to take money by force from someone and ask me how are we going to build hospitals or roads, you admit that someone is producing the money, the wealth that will make those roads possible. Now you have no right to tell the man who produced the wealth in what way you want him to spend it. If you need his money, you can obtain it only by his voluntary consent.
And you believe in the eventual goodwill of all human beings, or at least that top echelon of human beings whom you believe will give willingly?
No goodwill is necessary, only self-interest. I believe in private roads, private post offices, private schools.
Wow. Does that even hold any sort of value anymore, that somebody would say, I believe you have no right to tell the person that they must give the money to build this for everybody else's use?
You know, I think that we see that it holds definitely not in people's political opinions and their votes. But have you noticed anybody in their private capacity, going up to somebody and demanding that they give money to the homeless man on the street, or contribute to Feed the Children, which is a wonderful charity that I voluntarily contribute to? And yet, if instead of soliciting and persuading me, I was persuaded by somebody on the street by DuPont Circle in DC to donate on a monthly basis. Very charming, made a strong case for the good that this organization is doing.
Wait a minute. I know those guys that stand out there. They've got the clipboards. I am shocked. So yeah. Right. So you're walking by, they got the yellow jacket on, right? And they stop you with, do you want to help feed children today? Or whatever their catchline is. And you stopped and talked to them, and you actually gave.
Well, that evening, so I was stopped in the evening. That day, I had written an article about why government-run grocery stores are not needed in New York City, and I cited all of the wonderful private and religious charities that were doing good work, donating, millions, hundreds of millions. I think if I recall the figure correctly, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of food every year to needy people, and so it maybe it was circumstance, maybe it was providence. I don't, you
quantum
can
physics.
Your own decisions.
Okay.
But I figured it would be kind of hypocritical for me to write about that and praise it and not contribute. So I was easy to persuade that day. But the point is, they're not standing out there with guns demanding money for undeniably good things. And if they were, they would properly be arrested and nobody would protest that. So I think that there's a disconnect between what people think is politically acceptable and what they'd be willing to do as private individuals.
You go back to somebody like Milton Friedman, who said that, if it's the individual, not the government, it is the individual giving to charities upon their own, sense of what is right and wrong. And the government has no way, shouldn't force somebody and say, well, morally, you have to do this. You neutralize the person's individuality. You take away their self-governments. And someone like Ayn Rand and Milton Friedman, they see it as, no, you are free to do whatever you want as long as you don't harm anybody else. But nobody has the right to come over and tell you how you have to feel or how you have to act and benefit to somebody else. And we will never, unfortunately, Jack will never have that. We will never, ever have that, because the people that are in there redistributing the wealth, that's how they keep their job, is to take from one and give to another. And then that person they gave to will then vote for them.
I think there is a popular backlash, though, to a lot of our largest transfer payments. I mean, the Medicaid fraud at the state level that's been exposed in Minnesota, in California, really all over the place. By the way, those programs, they're administered at the state level, but federally subsidized to the tune of $1 per dollar. And in some cases, $9 of federal taxpayer money for every dollar that is raised by the state. So this is really a federal program. It's rife with fraud. And even the programs that aren't rife with fraud, Social Security, Medicare, they're transfers from, not very well off young whippersnappers such as myself to older people who, on average have a lot more wealth and investments that can afford them their their lifestyle in their golden years. And people are getting tired with this. They're recognizing that there's this regressive transfer of wealth between working class people, and by that I mean people who actually go to work and contribute to society. I don't mean people who are depending unnecessarily on the goodwill of others or are willfully on the dole.
But you think there's a backlash? Do you think it's slowly beginning the tide is turning, and people are like, no, I don't want to have that taken, and I will not vote for that guy that says he's going to redistribute the wealth to solve the problems of society?
Yeah, I think so. And it's not because their moral principles have changed, but they see that it's not going to the people who need it the most. And even those programs that are supposed to help the people who need it the most, they're being taken advantage of by people who don't need the help and are redirecting these resources for their own benefit and away to like their proper targets. Yeah. And my friend Russ Green has developed this. He's coined this term called total boomer luxury communism.
Okay.
To describe our current system of our current welfare state. And it's really picking up steam among Zoomers, among Gen Z.
Okay. Well, we'll have to read that. By the way, as you were speaking, the Assembly Bill 2624 in California, dubbed the Stop Nick Shirley Act by critics. They don't want independent journalists going around investigating daycare centers and other things like that to protect legal aid and child care. They don't want to be targeted doxing, so they're going to stop that. There'll be fines if you're an individual journalist. If you're an independent journalist, you can be fined up to $10,000 if you're harassing one of these great places. More to talk about later. Jack Nicastro.
No, wait.
What?
Jack, you're leaving. Are you going to tell us where you're going?
I am, John. This may be the last time we speak. This is my last week at Reason.
No.
I'm going to be an antitrust policy analyst at the Information Technology and Innovation Foundation. So stay tuned for wonky blog posts.
Yeah, that sounds terribly boring. Okay, Jack. There he goes, out the door. All right, I'm so late. Bye, Jack. We'll talk to you soon. And Nate here, checking traffic. Wow. All right, sorry about that, Nate.
No problem. Seattle to Everett has spiked an hour, 10 minutes. We've got a solid backup from Northgate into Mill Creek, and then you're just barely moving, starting in Shoreline. Bellevue to Everett, 1 hour. It's solid from mid-Bellevue up to Alderwood. South 5 into Seattle, heavy from the Ship Canal Bridge to I-90. Linwood to Seattle, 25 minutes. You got another backup through Linwood to get through. North 5 into Seattle, heavy volumes from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal. 40 to 45 minutes to get through this. South 405, pretty solid now from 520 all the way to South Center. Little clearing through the S-curves, 45 minutes from Bellevue to South Center. Seattle to Federal Way, we're closing in on 50 minutes. Renton to Puyallup, 50 minutes. And Tacoma to Olympia, 55. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I was reading the other day an article when kids come home and start to live with their parents because they simply can't afford stuff, and the parents look around and go, wow, we need a bigger place. Wait a minute, maybe you just need more organization. So if you've got some of those kids coming back, or maybe you're taking grandma in or grandpa in, and you're just trying to find it if you have enough space, maybe it's an organizational problem. Think about it that way. And if you get better organization, which means better closets, better storage, this could be a lot more peaceful house for you. Let's put it that way. Less stress. So let's take care of the garage, the pantry, the laundry room, all that stuff. The office space, the entertainment center, the mud room, whatever it is in the whole house. If it's organized and there's space, there's peace. So best thing you could do is have Closets by Design come in. They truly customize for you. You'll find a whole bunch of other spots that you never knew that you could have storage until Closets by Design comes in and customize without the big, gigantic customized price, 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months financing on approved credit when paid in full. That's Closets by Design, 1-800-BY-DESIGN, 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
Hi, I'm Charlie Harder.
And I'm Amanda Factor.
Is there a chance of a deal this week?
We will have the latest on the war with Iran.
Another legal loss for President Trump.
Former Attorney General Rob McKenna has thoughts on a judge tossing the suit against the Wall Street Journal.
And some potential for some active weather tomorrow. We'll have your forecast and Sully with traffic every 10 minutes on the 3.
Join us tomorrow 5 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News.
We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
Hi,
Hi, Flo here from Progressive. You know, life changes quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, you mean like adding another vehicle?
Yes, that's something we can do.
Great, because I was thinking about getting a van so we could just keep the kids' softball stuff in the car.
Oh, we don't need to get into specifics. Just saying it's easy to change.
Oh, and Hannah wants to try the tuba.
Again, we don't need the specifics.
Last year, she wanted to be a tap dancer, but that only lasted 2 lessons.
Okay.
But she kept the shoes because they are adorable.
Well, just know that with Progressive, you can easily add another car to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. No!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
Nick, you know what's a great thing about going to Longevity Medical Clinic as a couple?
Oh, I absolutely do. When they tell you to do something, you actually do it.
Right. And the same thing with you. When they tell you to do it, because for some reason, when I tell you to do it, you're like, whoa.
I just walk away and roll my eyes.
Exactly. But the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic, the doctors there know, because we do the blood draw and they look and they can see, they know, they hold us accountable.
Yeah, when I'm under pressure and I know I'm coming in, I know I have to work the program.
Right. Plus, we also want to hold each other accountable for how we take care of ourselves because, you know, we want to have a long, healthy, happy life.
I know. I want every day to torture you as long as I possibly can.
Well, I look forward to it. Here's the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic. They're working with you. They're holding you accountable because they want you to have a long, healthy, happy life. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granello. A $1 million bail is now set for a man accused of a double stabbing in Everett. KIRO 7 TV's Monique Ming-Lavin has the updates.
The sheriff's office says the suspect forced his way inside a townhome. It was Monday morning and stabbed a mother and daughter inside. They were both seriously injured but are expected to survive. Another daughter who was home at the time was able to put the suspect into a chokehold until deputies arrived on scene.
Suspect refused to attend a court hearing today. Another one is set for tomorrow. Quantum computing in Bothell is growing. The company IonQ announcing a big expansion. KIRO Radio's John Rep reports the governor's office is also jumping in, spending $500,000 to support the growth.
The governor's office says this expansion means about 100 engineering jobs within the next year and a half, along with up to 2,000 jobs over the next 5 years. Economic Alliance Snohomish County President Ray Stephenson says it's a financial win for the region.
We've had trade challenges, funding challenges at a federal level.
The money comes from the governor's Economic Development Strategic Reserve Fund, matched by more than $14 million in private investment. John Rep, KIRO News Radio.
Shares of Boeing jumped today after the company reported first quarter aircraft deliveries. They included 114 737 MAX jets. Overall, Boeing delivered more planes than it did a year ago, even after recent production slowdowns tied to quality checks. News lifted Boeing stock ahead of its next earnings report that is set for next week. If you plan to travel by ferry this summer, the reservation system just opened this morning. KIRO 7 TV's Renchi Sinha reports you will pay more.
This year, a 3% fee kicked in that applies to all card transactions. The Washington State Legislature approved the fees that covers the cost the state racks up when processing cards online and at terminals. That 3% increase started on March 1st.
Reserving your spot is free. The ticket purchase is separate. Reservations cover sailings from Anacortes to San Juan Islands and also the Port Townsend Coupeville routes. Now to the real-time traffic desk at 4:33. Here's Nate Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. Seattle Sports has the update. Seattle to Everett, an hour and 10-minute commute this afternoon. It is solid from Northgate all the way into Mill Creek. Bellevue to Everett, 1 hour, and we're solid from Mid-Bellevue to Alderwood. And then, of course, you'll hook into that northbound I-5 backup. Now, if you're heading through Seattle, South 5 is heavy from the Ship Canal Bridge to I-90. Linwood to Seattle's at 25 minutes because you've got another pretty good backup through Linwood to get through. North 5 is packed from the Michigan Curve all the way across the Ship Canal. 45 minutes to get through downtown. South 405, pretty solid now from 520 down to South Center. 45 minutes between Bellevue and South Center. Seattle to Federal Way is at 50 minutes. It's heavy from the Boeing Access Road all the way to South 260th heading into Federal Way. And then Federal Way to Tacoma, another 20 minutes. And it's slow from 320th down to State Route 16. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Kind of a soggy evening in store along with mountain snow. Winter storm warning for the Cascades runs until 11 o'clock tomorrow nights. Could see about 1.5 feet of new snow for higher elevations. In the lowlands, just kind of gusty and temperatures in the upper 40s right now. 48 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Spring showers? Yeah, right. More like spring sprinkles, downpours, hailstorms, cold snaps, flooding, and even sometimes a little sun. Spring in Western Washington changes day to day, even hour to hour. That's why you need experts who have decades of experience and the right tools to keep you weather ready. Watch KIRO 7 pinpoint weather forecasts in every newscast and on the KIRO 7 apps for your phone or TV.
Thank you, Joe. Well said, well read. That's quite the weather report there. Heat waves.
Spring showers?
There was a snowstorm at the top of the pass this morning. Nick called. Yeah, blizzard-like conditions, she says. Crazy. It's a big storm coming in. I don't know where, 40-mile-an-hour, 60-mile-an-hour winds. Is that on the West Coast somewhere?
Yeah, up on the coast, like 45, 50-mile-per-hour gusts. Yeah, I know. 18 inches of powder expected in the higher elevations. I know.
Fresh pow. Epic pow.
Yeah, right.
Pow.
Epic pow for that, Kenny. Lucky's Auto Service Centers. When it comes to getting the car fixed, it's Bucky's Auto Service Centers. 50 years they've been around, Bucky's. Okay, you're not going to draw me in. Bucky's, nope. Bucky's, nope. I'm not going to do it. Not going to go for it. Nope. Bucky's. Okay. 5 million? Yep. 5 million pounds of trash.
5.3.
600,000 needles. I don't know where they're getting those needles from. Removed in Seattle because they're getting headed for the World Cup. Got to get the World Cup ready to go. There are, of course, as you know, 16 host teams across the United States. 48 teams are going to be competing, and it's going to be great for everybody because they've cleaned up the garbage. I think they said volunteers have done all the garbage pickup, all the trash pickup, all around the areas.
32,000 of them.
32,000 altogether were out there picking up the garbage?
That's correct.
That's in a year.
Yes.
Okay. Well, good for them because they did the same thing with when we had the All-Star game came, right? Everything big cleaned up. They moved all the RVs out, and then, of course, they all came back again.
Pioneer Square, since the All-Star game, it's night and day. It's fantastic. Now, CID, different story, but that was, that didn't get much love for the All-Star game either.
So near the stadiums, there used to be a road there that was just all RVs.
Yeah, RV Alley, I think.
Yeah, they're still there?
That one resurfaces from time to time.
Okay, but the little area there, they did a pretty good job of keeping everything clean.
Yeah, Pioneer Square is fantastic.
They just pushed everybody a little further down.
Yep.
To me, it always sucks. It's like same thing happened in San Francisco when I think the president of China came and they cleaned up everything, moved all the homeless people out. And the rest of the people are like, well, why isn't it like this all the time? Why do you have to just clean up because guests are coming? Same sort of thing in your house. You can have, Nick's always said, we should have a cocktail party or have some sort of party at least 4 times a year because then you really clean up.
Yeah.
All right. So in this case, people are like, same thing happens in the city of Seattle. Now you pick up all the garbage. Now you pick up all the needles because we've got company coming and we want to put on our best face. I guess that's what they end up doing. What's the camera that you mentioned? The garbage camera?
I thought this was interesting because frequently we're talking about the surveillance cameras and whether or not they're going to be turned on or turned off and whether people are storing. So it's such a big deal. However, I didn't realize this until I read this article by Frank Lindsay. He said in 2025, the city expanded its illegal dumping camera pilot. Officials said it reduced incidents at some hotspots from dozens per year to 0. The program that was launched in 2023 uses motion-activated cameras. Quote, the cameras are installed in areas with frequent illegal dumping. When motion is detected, the camera plays a deterrent message. If the motion continues, it captures images of the individuals and sends them to officials for review.
Yeah. That's interesting. So in the city of Seattle, they're more concerned about somebody not recycling pizza crust. They want to make sure it's out of the box. But if you want to be able to trade in needles and syringes and smoke, drugs and stuff like that, they don't want any cameras around that kind of thing.
No, or violent crime.
There was, I think it was like 6 years ago, they said, well, if we lift up, so the refuge guys come and they lift up and they notice in your pizza box that there's organic material in there, that's cheese or whatever else, then they would leave a little oops note in your garbage can telling you that you have violated, and then the next time they're going to fine you. Yeah. Oh, Joey the garbage man, I asked him about that. He goes, yeah, we're not doing that. Joey the garbage man listening all the time. There's a story today as well. And the New York Times, let's see, the Washington Post, everybody's got it. People are outraged by the price that they have to pay for the FIFA 2026 World Cup, that the ticket prices are so high, they've actually asked 16 members of Congress to urge the soccer governing body to drop the ticket prices. This guy that's going to go to the one in San Francisco says, I paid $1,200. I'm at the very, very top. I think my head is going to be hitting the roof. And they're waiting online for a long periods of time in order to get into the queue. And now the most expensive ticket you can purchase, I guess it's for the last game, that would be $250,000 for one ticket. Whew. Thank you for that, Joe. How many people do they expect to be coming to Seattle for this? And will the city be ready for it? And are people going to be attending? There seems to be not in certain areas. A lot of the games are not getting half the fans that they were hoping they would get. But of course, the ones when it finally gets down to the end, you will have people that will be paying huge amounts of money, and that's just simply the way it works. Because if the secondary or third market comes through, you're going to have to pay a high price for whatever the tickets are. You can't get Congress involved to demand that they lower their ticket price. Yeah, man. Are you going to go?
No.
Anybody here going?
Am I going to FIFA?
FIFA,
No,
World Cup?
I'm not
No,
doing
do you
any,
care
I'm
at
not
all?
doing any FIFA stuff.
Did you say FIFA?
Yeah, he did.
FIFA, whatever. I have no. I mean, I wouldn't go. I'm glad people seem to like it. I have no interest in soccer. I went to one game with Patrick, and I had the itchy scarf on, and
he was a big fan of the Sounders.
Huge
wasn't he?
Sounders fan. I went to 2 games with him. It never kicked in for me. I just never liked the whole.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of soccer either. I did enjoy the Welcome to Wrexham, that TV show about the team in England that Ryan. What are the
did they highlight
bought.
FIFA?
No, I'm glad you said it right. They also, I'm surprised you don't know how to pronounce FIFA, because they did give President Trump the FIFA World Peace Award recently.
Good, fine. I have nope.
You don't watch any sports.
I watch the Seahawks with Rye.
Sometimes.
I watched
how many, 2 games a year?
I watched part of the Masters. I watched that poor guy I think he got a 10 on one of the holes. Did you see that?
No.
Oh my God, it's crazy. And you can't watch it anywhere else because the Masters owns all of the video, and they got all. You can't play any of it. Yeah. Anyway, but no, I don't watch. No.
I don't watch any.
Now you know.
No sports. I'd rather run around and go sit there and watch it. Go out there and do something. Be active.
Yeah.
Especially just the soccer stuff is like. felt like I was in a sort of a Marxist rally or something. It's Seattle, just like people. I wasn't big. Here goes Nate Shaker-Traven either.
Here, this one brought to us by the KIRO Newsradio App. Seattle to Everett, we're struggling this afternoon, but we have improved from our last report, down from an hour 10 to 55 minutes. So we're starting to clear out pretty quickly in areas. 40 minutes to Linwood, but we're solid from Northgate into Mill Creek. Bellevue to Everett, 1 hour, 45 to Linwood. It's solid from mid-Bellevue to Alderwood. Once you get into Kirkland, you're just barely moving. Everett to Marysville, we're doing okay, taking 10 minutes after Highway 2. It's all clear. South 5 heading into Seattle, heavy at the Ship Canal Bridge to I-90. Another backup in Linwood, so Linwood to Seattle, 25 minutes. North 5 is jam-packed from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. About 45 minutes to get through this. Seattle to Federal Way, 50 minutes. Heavy at the Boeing Access Road. It doesn't clear till you get to South 260th heading into Federal Way. And Tacoma to Olympia at 50 minutes. Text app to 888-973-5476 and download the KIRO News Radio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I was unable to run. I used to do a whole bunch of 5Ks and 10Ks and half marathons and marathons. I used to have all the medals and had them all in a big drawer. I was going through it the other day. I was like, oh, yeah, I remember running that. I ran that one. Oh, there's my time was written down on the back of the thing. And then all of a sudden just stopped for about 7 years. Was unable to run because my hip went out, and it just got worse and worse and worse. I don't know if it was arthritis or whatever, but I just simply had worn down the hip. And I was having to get surgery. And then I thought, wait a minute, I don't want to get surgery. I'm too young for surgery. But I do want to be able to run again. I do want to be able to be involved in triathlons. So I go to see the man himself. That's Dr. Mark Wagner. And why did I go see Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports for Regenerative Medicine? Because I did some research. I talked to some people that went there. And I also knew that he's done more than 20,000 of these stem cell procedures. It's a 90-minute outpatient procedure. He's been in the business for 30 years. And when you walk into the office, there's jerseys and all sorts of memorabilia from athletes that have seen him. So I'm going to see Wagner because that's the guy that's going to fix my hip. And sure enough, he has. I'm running again, and that's my story. You want to find out more? If you got a bad shoulder, elbow, wrist, knee, whatever it is that's bugging you, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-518-3899. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-518-3899. That's 800-518-3899. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. One thing the IRS has been working on is to modernize their infrastructure, the software that they use. And you know, we look at that and say that's great for government efficiency, but in this case, that kind of efficiency means they're spotting people way faster.
They're able to do that, and they have to do that because they have fewer personnel. But look at your own work environment, how technology is replacing people, and you can get as much work done or more with the proper technology. And that's what the IRS's goal is that we need to use technology, especially AI, to make determinations on, okay, who should we go after? Who are we missing?
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967. Or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
At Guardian Roofing Gutters and Installation, we stand by our quality gutters. Whether you need a cleaning or a complete gutter install, we do it all. Call today and get $250 off a gutter installation. And visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Hang on. Don't listen to me. There we go. Hold on, having technical problems. Hold on, I'm having technical. You know, I have shallow ear holes.
I heard.
So these things don't stay in there.
You and I.
And my father, when my dad was born, they had to cut away his ears that were connected to his head.
Oh, like webbed toes?
Yeah, same sort of thing. All right, listen, it's nice to know that your cost of electricity is going to be increasing a lot because you voted for these people. When you vote for these folks and they have particular views of the world, they cost you more money. But for some reason, the people in Seattle want to put somebody like Inslee in there who decides that by 2030, 80% of our energy will be coming from renewables. It's going to cost $3.6 billion to meet that goal. Now, we have never, you look at Todd Myers, Washington Policy Center, I don't want to say never, but I would say most of the time we don't hit any of the goals they put in place. But the people in Seattle that believe the world is coming to an end because of climate change, they decide they're going to vote for people like this, like Inslee, and then they all of a sudden start screaming and yelling when they notice their electric bill is going up 30%, 45%. All of a sudden it's doubling. Well, you wanted it. You voted for it. You wanted to have the by 2030, 80% renewable. Well, someone has to pay for that. So Puget Sound Energy is like, well, we're just following along because the people that you elected say that's the best thing for us. So bend over, here it comes. You'll see your electric bill will be increasing in some cases. If you've 8% then or 18%, it's going to go up 8% and then 3%. They break it all down for you. So this is what you vote for. So this is what you get. And yesterday, Bob Ferguson was hyping a video despite chaos coming from Washington, D.C. Oh, my God. We are moving forward.
Despite the chaos of Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
And what's going on, we're going to move our state forward.
What does that mean, forward? Forward. I love that. Wrong side of history. What does forward mean? Forward progress into what? we will not go back. What do you mean we're not going? Did he say not going back?
And we're going to start by making that tax system more fair.
Tax system's going to be more fair. Oh my God!
We're making a historic change to our tax system today, everybody. And as a result, here's what that means: free meals, free breakfast, free lunch for all of our.
Oh, free lunch! Wait a minute. You're making the tax system more free. Why do you? I thought free lunch.
And as a result, here's what that means: free meals, free.
Here's my theory, real quick. I don't have time for it. Do I have time for it, real quick? 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
Rich guys that make there's 25,000 of them. You're going to allow the rich guy can go into the person's house that's cheering. I'm sure they've got 2 or 3 cats, and they're allowed to take one of your cats. They can take your cat.
That's fair.
You care and love that cat so much that you let the rich guy come in and remove one of your cats. Oh, no, you can't take my cat. I love my cat. No, every rich guy gets to go into every one of those houses and the people have green and purple hair and they're screaming and yelling about they have to give up a cat. There we go. Here's Nate checking traffic.
Thanks, John. Seattle to Everett, 55 minutes, 40 to Linwood, and it's solid from Northgate all the way into Mill Creek. Bellevue to Everett in 1 hour, 45 to Linwood. Solid from Mid-Bellevue to Alderwood. It gets thick through Kirkland. Tacoma, southbound 705 and northbound I-5. We've got a new collision blocking the left lane at the on-ramp. Tacoma to Olympia at 55 minutes. Got backups through JBLM, and then more scattered backups between Lacey and Olympia. North 5 heading into Lakewood slows at Gravely Lake Drive up to the Tacoma Mall. Olympia to Tacoma is about 40 minutes. Seattle to Federal Way, a 45-minute drive. Renton to Puyallup at 50 minutes. And we have a high wind advisory at the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right, for many people, when it comes to a tax return, it's something that you file. Sigh of relief, I guess. And then you move on to next year until it comes back around again. The document's what's already happened, but it also reveals opportunities that you may not be seeing. Often CPAs, they say where they look in their rear view mirror, right? And they document that stuff. And then financial advisors, they look through the windshield to see what's coming. But if you were to combine those two, well, that's where you get Madrona. Madrona Financial has got for you a free tax return treasure hunt happening at 6:30 tonight in Kirkland. You bring your tax returns, you uncover opportunities you didn't know were there. Madrona Financial and CPAs and their CPAs and advisors work together to review your tax returns for tax savings opportunities for you. This is for next year. It's all complimentary, and you get a chance to talk to the best. The financial advisors and the CPAs working together to give you a forward and a behind view to help you get ready. Now, seats for the seminar go fast. I hope there's still some left for you. MadronaFinancial.com/events. 833-673-7373. Call now to get those seats because it is tonight at 6:30 in Kirkland. 833-673-7373.
Hey there, Dawn Riley with Olympic Hot Tub. Ready to create your home wellness retreat? Whether you love a relaxing session in infrared or traditional steam heat, we have the perfect Hilo sauna waiting for you. Up your wellness game by building your own contrast therapy studio, featuring a new sauna and our amazing Vigor Cold Plunge. Buy both and save up to $5,000. Savings end April 30th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub. The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Do you need glasses or contacts and you're now at the age where you also need readers? K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to eliminate the need for all those. Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. Andy, for those nearing age 50 or so, refractive lens exchange can be a great alternative to LASIK.
That's right, Joe. K2 Vision RLE is a terrific permanent solution for a lifetime of great vision. The older we get, we experience the dysfunction of our natural lens, which affects both distance vision and requires the use of reading glasses. Plus, after K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
And like LASIK, K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless. The question is, which procedure is right for you?
With the experience of over 150,000 procedures, the doctors at K2 Vision will know which procedure is best for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at k2visionrle.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
I had pain, I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug, and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
How does your roof look after this winter? Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Spring into action today. Save $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour. Your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. An accuser has come forward alleging she was raped by now former California Congressman Eric Swalwell in 2018. At least 4 women have made claims against him, and 2 of them have spoken to correspondent Nancy Cordes in a CBS News exclusive.
The Manhattan DA's office has confirmed that they are investigating another allegation of sexual assault at a hotel in New York. Swalwell's lawyers accused these women of being part of a political hit job. But the ones we spoke to said their only goal here was to stop this from happening again.
Swalwell and Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez officially submitted their resignation letters to the House clerk today. Swalwell's resignation took effect at 2 p.m. Eastern, and Gonzalez's kicks in at 11:59 tonight. The Justice Department asks a federal appeals court to throw out the seditious conspiracy convictions of Proud Boys and Oath Keeper leaders who were sentenced to prison terms for leading members of the far-right extremist groups in the U.S. Capitol attack. President Trump commuted the prison sentences of several leaders last year. CBS's Weijia Zhang says important talks between Israel and Lebanon were held today in Washington.
As Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon continue to trade deadly strikes, Secretary of State Marco Rubio hosted diplomats from both countries to discuss a framework for peace.
This is a process, not an event. This is more than just one day. This will take time, but we believe it is worth this endeavor.
It's the first senior-level meeting between the two countries in over 3 decades.
CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger on the world economic outlook from the International Monetary Fund.
The IMF notes that absent the war, global growth would have been revised upward. The IMF's analysis matches what most economists believe right now, and that is that the war will likely conclude in the next few weeks, maybe a couple of months, should have limited impact on the global economy and even less of an impact on the United States economy.
Property damage, but no injuries reported after a 5.7 earthquake rattled a rural area of Nevada east of Carson City. It came as a bit of a surprise to Christy Rowe of the Nevada Seismological Lab.
We don't have a name for this fault. We suspected there were faults in this valley, but this one doesn't actually have a name. It's not known to science, so it's going to be a new one that we can add to the map after this event.
There are health benefits of small talk. CBS's Michael George.
A University of Michigan study asked people to talk about topics they found boring.
Afterwards, the subjects reported they enjoyed the conversations much more than they thought. The study's authors say even boring social interactions can lead to greater well-being and decreased loneliness.
This is CBS News.
Join Adriana Diaz and Kelly O'Grady for the perfect start to your weekend. Ease into your Saturday with CBS Saturday Morning on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
The new levy that will be sent to the ballot in Seattle is one story coming up after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Well, the drive to Everett from Seattle and Bellevue, we are struggling today. It's a 1 hour trip from both sides. 40 minutes to Linwood on I-5 with a solid backup from Northgate in through Mill Creek. And then 405 is a 45 minutes from Bellevue to Linwood. And it is pretty solid from mid-Bellevue all the way to Alderwood. We're seeing a little clearing now through Canyon Park. Everett to Seattle coming the other way, 45 minutes. You've got a 2-mile backup through Linwood, and then again from the U District to I-90. Everett to Bellevue, pretty much wide open at just 35 minutes. Once you get to Bellevue, South 405, you're going to jam up at 520. That continues bumper to bumper all the way to Northeast 44th near the VMAC. So Bellevue to Renton's going to take you a half hour. We did clear out in South Center. North 5 into Seattle, taking you 45 minutes with a solid backup from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. Seattle to Federal Way is a 45-minute commute. Tacoma, we cleared that collision, South 705 at the on-ramp to North 5. And on the water, the Point Defiance Ferry Terminal reporting a 1 hour wait for drivers. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granillo. Bellevue police say a third suspect is now in custody in a large-scale theft ring that targeted seniors across our region. KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman has the updates.
So investigators have been keeping tabs on these suspects for a while now. Charger dots we got today show surveillance photos from all over the area of 2 of those suspects. Police say the people in this crime ring would go to parks, shopping centers, grocery stores looking for elderly victims. The goal, of course, to take off with money, jewelry, anything they can get their hands on.
2 of those suspects are from Oregon and California. All 3 have now been charged with first-degree theft and robbery. Pierce County deputies say they need your help to find a hit-and-run driver who left a 32-year-old father in critical condition.
The victim, James Weinstein, was in a car with friends last Friday night around 10:30. They were on Canyon Road when Weinstein dropped his glasses out the car window. The driver turned around, and when Weinstein got out, he was hit by a pickup that kept going. Deputy Carly Capetto says they are looking for a dark-colored 1994 to 2000 model Chevy Silverado with front-end damage.
The front grille portion and the emblem of the Chevy had fallen off.
If you have any information, call 911. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle voters will be asked to approve a property tax hike to help fund libraries. The city council voted unanimously today to put that measure on the August ballots. The 7-year levy totals $480 million. It's more than double the levy that's set to expire this year. City leaders say the money would help keep library hours intact, expand services, and maintain aging buildings. Seattle's police chief says he's consulting with federal agencies to help keep the city safe during the World Cup. His comments coming after the SPD announced it will not be using cameras to monitor crowds. More from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Chief Sean Barnes tells the G and Ursula Show officers are following a directive from Mayor Katie Wilson to keep the cameras off when monitoring the hundreds of thousands of World Cup fans from all over the globe expected on Seattle's streets unless there's a credible threat.
I speak with the FBI almost weekly, looking at what threats we may have to the games. And so at the time that I think I need to make a case to the mayor on credible threats, I feel comfortable in doing so.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
To your forecast now, looking at soggy weather for tonight, some scattered showers tomorrow, and also plenty of mountain snow over the next 24 hours. Right now, 48 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show listener introduction line.
God, this better be
Please
good.
tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show. Thank you.
There you go.
There is no state out of 50 that I would rather be a public employee with my retirement system managed by state government than this state. because of the decisions of the legislature.
It's happy hour here, the John Curley Show. Here we go. I'll drink to that. Well, we've taken it upon ourselves here at the John Curley Show to help our elected officials that seem to have some problems when it comes to something called capital flight. Here is your senator, Jamie Pedersen.
I don't think that there's going to be any significant change in taxpayer location as a result of the passage of the tax.
Fine, that's one no. No one's going to leave.
The idea
is Representative Tim Ormsby
that we have capital flight. I have not seen any evidence of that whatsoever.
Yep. And then one more, Natasha Hill, still representative, she can't find it either. She thinks it's a myth.
There's a myth floating around today and yesterday that capital will leave Washington. This whole concept of capital flight.
Hit it. There we go. Moving out. All right. We've got, this is our second guy. First of all, stop the music for 1 second. Colonel, do you know what the first general order is enshrined? You never leave your post.
You never leave your post.
You never leave your post.
Relieved.
Yes. Colonel, you're leaving your post, Mayor.
Well, I'm being properly relieved, or so I think I have a good succession plan anyway.
All right.
You got to go to the chow hall sometime.
Okay. Brett Gailey joins us. He was the mayor there at Lake Stevens until was it yesterday? I think you let everybody know. He made it official.
Midnight Sunday night. The aura came off of me.
Okay. Can I still call you Your Honor?
As long as my wife keeps giggling whenever she hears that, you can call me whatever you want.
What does this say about a guy that served in the Army as a colonel, then got elected to office there at Lake Stevens in 2017, served proudly, the folks, and then got elected as mayor, and you've served there from 2020. This doesn't speak well for, is it the city of Lake Stevens or is it the state of Washington? What is it, Your Honor?
John, it's a lot of different small issues, right? I love working for the city of Lake Stevens. I love working for these citizens. There is obviously the equation of family. I've got lots of kids. Many of them are established here. I've got two little dudes that I think I would rather have them raised in a different environment. So that's a big part of the equation. But yeah, John, just listening to your newscast for the last hour.
Sorry.
Story after story of why wouldn't I go to Idaho?
Well, you're going back home in some regards because you graduated there from Boise State. So you do know.
Go Broncos.
Yeah, go Broncos. So you do know the state. So your wife of, I don't know how many years, but you got 7 kids. And you're going to be, I assume, leaving some of them behind. They're established and they're already living here. But are you packing up the whole Gailey family and going to Idaho?
I got an older batch and a younger batch.
Yes.
And the older batch, they're established. But, when I told them, they weren't too far behind the thinking process, right? They grew up in Boise. They grew up in Idaho. They love it still there. My 2 little dudes, the second batch, they don't get a choice. They're jumping in the U-Haul with me.
Right. Is it mixed emotions for you?
Absolutely. I've spent, year 7 of being the mayor. We've done some really, really good projects here in Lake Stevens to grow this city out. I've worked on some great initiatives with great mayors across this state to work on public safety issues and awareness to the state level of the concerns of the fiscal stability of our cities. And, unfortunately, I would say that most of those topics have been banging head against wall, and it gets tiresome, John.
Also, I was reading some of the other reasons or your main things you pointed to, the encroachment from Olympia down onto local officials determining everything from zoning to anything else that they can get their fingers in the middle of. And then you begin to lose the power of, well, wait a minute, that this is our town, our community. These are the people that I serve. Now you're telling me what I have to build and how I have to build it. Why am I even here?
You're spot on, John. If I always tell people, if you think, the mayors and the city council members get all the complaints on development. If you think a mayor and a city council has any power over how their city is going to grow, the only power they have is blue or gray drapes at this point, maybe.
They might cut down on that as well. Have you got any negative stuff? Has anybody said anything to you, Brett? Like, you're quitting or don't go. We need you. Keep going. Keep fighting. Have you heard any of that?
The majority of obviously I run in more conservative circles, but even on my liberal friends, a lot of them are like, I get it. We get it. And we may not be far behind you. Right. There's a lot of folks thinking about leaving. After I announced, I had 4 business owners in my city tell me they were executing get out of Washington plans, whether or get out of Washington plans, wherever that might be, because it's just become so onerous here, not only the taxes, but the regulations, and they don't see any relief from it coming anytime soon. I've had several folks say, no, I need to stay and stay here. And John, I've even had folks from Boise, knowing that I'm going back there, ask if I'm going to be in Boise to run against their mayor, who's a little on the liberal side.
Yes.
So not right now, that's for sure.
Okay, you don't want to announce that. Let me ask you, your years there. So you were at Everett Police Department for 21 years. Did you see things changing? Because you're out on the street, you saw not only how the court system was working, but how crime was happening, and then how the city's responding, and then the folks in Olympia responding. The guys that are on the streets see it first before anybody else. Did you start to notice some changes occurring and then realize, wow, we've got a big problem here?
Yeah, absolutely. So just a little more on my time frame. I was actually a cop in Boise PD for about 6 years. My last 16 was with Everett PD. And as a police officer, as you get older and older in that career, you start seeing the box that you get to play in get smaller and smaller. And unfortunately, if you step outside of that box, you could really be in a lot of hurt from both the administration or civil penalties or criminal penalties. And so, police officers on the street, that box gets lower, it gets smaller and smaller. And unfortunately, our citizens expect and think that their police officers have just all kinds of capability to fight crime. And, I was your Katie Wilson shutting down the World Cup cameras because of who knows what, waiting for the threat to come up. Guess what? The threat's already there. So when you extrapolate that into things like flock cameras, deciding who can run for sheriff in this state, like those are all just crazy stuff, John.
You're going to leave it behind. Have you already started doing some house shopping?
We were in contract on a house in Idaho already, and we're just waiting for ours to close, and then we're popping smoke.
Okay. Well, Your Honor, I got to ask you, this is always the best part, because I have a friend of mine, Fred, who left, and at least once a week, look what I'm paying for my building permit, $50. Look what gas costs. Look at my house. So just tease us all. We don't need what you sold your house for, but have you compared cost of living for the Gailey family there with the second batch? I love how you refer them batches. The newer batch and your lovely wife. My God, have you done the price analysis, and what are you coming out with?
20% more money, and then you throw in your story on the energy costs that are going to go up. It'll be more than that. 20% more on your money. I will say though, you've got to be careful though, because Idaho wages are not Washington wages. So in moving to Idaho, you got to be careful. You're not going to make Washington wages in Idaho.
Right, but you're also not going to pay all the additional fees and services and all. Someone's not making $25 an hour to pour you a cup of coffee. So 20% there. And what are you doing for a living? Because you got a pension or something? I'm concerned about you.
Well, I appreciate it. Well, If I do go to Idaho, I don't have the homeless industrial complex there to take care of me if I do hit the streets. But I will pull a little pension. I am going to be working government affairs on the private sector in Idaho, and actually still in Washington with that group as well.
Okay. Well, I'm going to look up who the mayor of Boise is and let him know you're coming, because I get a sense that you still have public service in your blood there, Gailey. I can see it. I can feel it. Well, listen, for our Representative Peterson, he says,
I don't think that there's going to be any significant change in taxpayer location as a result of the passage of the tax.
Well, there's one taxpayer that's leaving. That, of course, is Yana himself from Lake Stevens, Brett Gailey. Thank you very much for spending time. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. You're moving out. See you, Gailey. Yeah. What? Wait, hold on. Wait, take it down, Andrew. What did you want to say?
I was going to say, let's do a follow-up in a year and see how I'm doing.
Yeah, let's see how you're doing. Yeah, good idea. All right. You want to book yourself for that? Okay, well, book it for a year from now. We'll see how the second brood and everybody else is doing there. He's in the book. Bye, Gailey. Tell him to kiss their ass. Bye-bye. See ya. That's number 2. We've done this now. First week, we had our buddy that ran the gold and silver business gone. Gailey gone. We've got another guy on board as well. We're going to collect all of these. If you happen to know anybody that's just sick and tired and you would like to maybe help Tim's Hormsley.
The idea that we have capital flight, I have not seen any evidence of that whatsoever.
If you've got some capital and you got some wings on it, you want it to leave, you can go. We'd love to hear from you. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line at 1-888-973-5476. Maybe Representative Tasha Hill would want to hear from you, because right now she thinks
there's a myth floating around today and yesterday that capital will leave Washington. This whole concept of capital flight.
It's not just capital. See, capital is, of course, she's referring to cash, but you also have capital in value, intellectual property as well. So when you take an individual and you basically run them through the ringer, as you did with the mayor there in Lake Stevens, Brett Gailey, who just got sick and tired of it, he's gone too. So that's intellectual property, that's intellectual capital that leaves, and they take with them, of course, the tax base as well. And in the case of the Gailey family, they take the kids, so now there's not as many kids that are going to be in the school, so then you have less funding going to the schools because enrollment is directly tied to the funding. So that goes. Where they spend their money, that goes. All of it goes. And if you make things uncomfortable for people, they will choose other places to go, because people do not necessarily vote with a ballot, they vote with their feet. And that's the case. So whether Peterson wants to admit it, or Ormsley, or Hill, or anybody else out there, this is the best declaration of ignorance. Now, this came in 2022. This is the governor of New York, and this is in 2022.
Just jump on a bus and head down to Florida where you belong, okay? Get out of town. Get out of town. Because you don't represent our values. You are not New Yorkers.
Yeah, you're not New Yorkers. Go ahead. If you're rich and you want to leave, you just get out of town. The government all of a sudden telling you what the values are. And then, I think it was just about 3 weeks ago.
I need people who are high net worth to support the generous social programs that we want to have in our state.
Oh, my God. I want the people that make a lot of money to provide a whole bunch of services, to employ a whole bunch of government people, to redistribute wealth in an ineffective way. We're going to take $10 from you, and by the time we pay everybody that has to touch your money, it ends up giving money to somebody, probably, I don't know, what is it, $3 to distribute $1 or whatever. And that person's going to continue to take the money, because once they're on the system, you're paying somebody not to work, they will not work, right? So here we go. She says, remember, 2022, go ahead, you can leave to Florida. We don't want you.
High net worth to support the generous social programs that we want to have in our state.
So generous with somebody else's money.
But maybe the first step should be go down to Palm Beach and see who you can bring back home. Because our tax base has been eroded. So I have to look at the fact that we are in competition with other states.
There you go.
Who have less of a tax burden on their corporations and their individuals. You know, Wall Street businesses looking at Texas, they're not going there because they have a nicer governor. I know that for sure. But they're going there because of the tax rate. We have to be smart about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You just get smart. Don't forget.
Just jump on a bus and head down to Florida where you belong, okay? Get out of town. Get out of town. Because you don't represent our values. You are not New Yorkers. I'm moving out.
I hate the schadenfreude, right? The German word to get joy out of other people's pain. But, you as a coach or as a teacher, you love to all of a sudden see the light bulb go on and the kids go, oh, I get it. I get it. If I tax somebody and I waste their money and I continue to tax them and I tell them that they're greedy and they're not paying their fair share, they will leave. And then I was like, oh my God, you're right. Oh my gosh, good. So that's what it is. It's not schadenfreude. It's like I love to see the growth. So hopefully we'll get our good senator.
I don't think that there's going to be any significant change in taxpayer location as a result of the passage of the tax.
All right. We'll get it. Here's Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
Thanks, John. Seattle to Everett, still a 1-hour commute. It's solid from Northgate up into Mill Creek. Bellevue to Everett has improved to 45 minutes. We're solid from Kirkland to Alderwood. You got a nice clear patch there through Canyon Park. We've cleared out through Everett. We're wide open in both directions right now. Everett to Seattle, 45 minutes. Still got a 2-mile backup through Linwood, and then again from the U District to I-90. Everett to Bellevue, wide open in just 35 minutes. Once you get to Bellevue, though, it's a different story. South 405 is heavy from 520, and that's packed all the way down to Northeast 44th near the VMAX. So Bellevue to Renton has gone up just a bit to 35 minutes. North 5 in Seattle is going to take you 45 minutes to get through, solid from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, a half hour on 520, 25 minutes on I-90. And North 405 and Northeast 44th, the collision was just cleared out of your way, but it left you with a backup stretching into South Center. South Center to Bellevue is at 40 minutes right now. That is double the norm. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO News Radio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from Nunn Better Tax Resolution. So, Greg, not all tax resolution companies are the same. There are some that are definitely not local. There are others that don't quite know what they're doing even.
Well, I tell you, these ads that all of us hear, Fresh Start program, they make you feel like, hey, man, I can just easy peasy get my taxes written off. No. And I've had several clients actually come to me after going through that process, and they just get no response after a while. They're passed around from person to person. That doesn't happen at my firm.
You are familiar with the cases that come in. You're working on them.
I'm familiar with every case that comes into our office. And I know what's going on and have the ability to really advise our taxpayers very well on what to do.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. Nunn Better Tax Resolution, from stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. Nunn Better Tax Resolution.
You could file your taxes on a basic free service, which is fine. But are you okay with fine? Because when it's your money on the line, do you really want to guess if you missed a credit or hope the math is right? Get the confidence of TurboTax for free right on the Intuit Credit Karma app. Free Fed and free state for simple 1040s only. Around 37% of filers qualify. See details at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for EITC, CTC, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Our First Mark Challenge victory is Aaron McCoy from McCoy Home Solutions, yet another small business owner that took the First Mark Insurance Challenge. Aaron, what was the initiative to make that call?
I've got something worth preserving for the sake of the people that I serve and my family. So it's important to me.
What did you learn through the process?
The experience with First Mark has been highly professional, informative individuals that have helped me from personal to professional insurance, life insurance, policies, coverage, cyberspace, things that I was afraid to approach were pretty easily approachable.
How would you say their customer service has been, Aaron?
Absolutely 10 out of 10. I just couldn't say anything higher about First Mark. They've executed very well on as many levels as I could rate them.
So if you're a small business owner that wants to take the stress of insurance off your plate, do what Aaron McCoy did for McCoy Home Solutions. Make the call to First Mark Insurance. They're your teammate that goes to work for you. FirstMarkInsurance.com.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy one Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Get it in the app. Participation may vary.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening. I'm Aaron Granillo. The Tacoma City Council is set to vote in just a couple of hours on a plan to fix the city's roads. KIRO 7 TV's Brandon Thompson reports voters already rejected a more expensive proposal earlier this year.
Tacoma Mayor Anders Ibsen is supporting putting a measure on the ballot that would continue a property tax and utility tax passed in 2015 for the next 10 years, generating $200 million. It would go into 3 buckets for better neighborhood streets, improved connections, and safer streets for everyone.
This is about being responsive to what people told us is most important, which is feeling safe.
That response after voters shot down increases in those taxes that would have funded $900 million in projects.
Cleaning up ahead of the World Cup in Seattle, KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay explains.
A new Seattle Clean City report shows crews and volunteers removed 5.3 million pounds of trash last year, including more than 660,000 needles. It took nearly 32,000 volunteer hours to make it happen. Seattle is getting ready for 750,000 visitors later this year for the World Cup. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Costco is pushing back against claims that its $5 rotisserie chicken poses a salmonella risk. Attorneys for the Issaquah-based company asked a federal judge in Seattle to dismiss a proposed class action lawsuit. The Seattle Times reports a plaintiff in Missouri claims contamination at Costco's poultry supplier in Nebraska created a food safety crisis. Costco says its rotisserie chicken is fully cooked, which kills that bacteria. The judge has not yet ruled. And it may be spring, but a winter storm warning is right now in effect for the mountains through tomorrow night. National Weather Service says it'll drop up to 1.5 feet of snow in the Cascades for lower elevations. KIRO 7 TV meteorologist Nick Allard says it'll stay wet and windy tonight.
We do have some wind advisories now, including out to the coast and across, say, like parts of North King County, Snohomish County, Skagit, and Island County. This is until, 6, 7 o'clock, and we'll see gusts anywhere from 40 to 45.
More on your forecast coming up in just a moment, but first, Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
It is busy out there today, Aaron. Seattle to Everett plan on 55 minutes. We're solid from Northgate up into Mill Creek. Bellevue to Everett has climbed back up to 1 hour. Stop and go now between 520 and 522 in Bothell. Then you'll clear out through Canyon Park and then heavy again heading into Alderwood. Everett to Seattle coming the other way. You give yourself 50 minutes. Got a pretty thick 2-mile backup through Linwood and then again from Lake City Way to I-90. Everett to Bellevue is wide open at 35 minutes. Once you get to Bellevue, South 405 is thick at 520 through Factoria. From there, you'll pick up the pace down to the Renton Landing before you're in the clear. Bellevue to Renton, 35 minutes. North 5 heading into Seattle, we're solid from the Michigan Curve up to the Ship Canal Bridge. It's 40 minutes to get through this. Renton to Puyallup, 40 minutes. Tacoma to Olympia, just hit 1 hour. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Rain continues tonight, tapering off as the evening goes on, though. Overnight should we wake up to mostly cloudy skies, maybe some scattered thunderstorms tomorrow, and mountain snow also continuing into tomorrow. Right now, 48 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, Teeny, I believe you have still 2 jobs. You choose the letter of the day, and then also spin the wheel, push the button. There goes the wheel, the Wilcox Fan Farm Eggs recipe wheel. Names are on the player on the wheel. And the bright red, green, yellow, pink, and pink is added in there as well. And it lands on Aaron. Aaron, your Wilcox Family Farm Eggs recipe.
I need a walk for this one.
Yes. All right.
We're doing chicken fried rice tonight, boys and girls.
Yes.
I usually start with the Wilcox eggs in my wok.
Right in the wok.
Scramble them up a little bit, take them out, then you throw the chicken in, and then
that's where I go wrong.
Yes. And also the key is to use cold rice that you made maybe a day or two before. Tends to keep a little bit more, crispy in a way.
You want it sticky?
You just don't want it mushy, I guess is the point. Yeah. So after you get the eggs cooked, stir everything back in the pan and mix it all up.
It's weird to have the eggs in there and then put the chicken in there.
No. It's kind of funny. It's like awkward.
It is awkward.
Yeah. Mix it up, eat it up. It's good.
I love it when Aaron gives us.
I like when it gets awkward that I think eggs are in there. Here you go, kids, and here comes your mom and dad. There you go. That's the whole. It's all going to be in there. That's the chicken
fried rice.
Chicken fried rice. There we go. All right. Thank you, Aaron. That's in the big book coming your way. Okay. Apparently the weird part about Swalwell. Am I saying his name right? I get everybody's name wrong.
His name is weird.
He gets elected in 2013. He gets there. Good-looking guy. He's got a wife, couple kids at the time, He and Adam Schiff just hate Trump. Boy, rubber stamp anything Trump hate. When Brett Kavanaugh was going through the hearings there to see if he had the right stuff to be on the Supreme Court, man, good old Eric was blasting away at him, right? Believe all women, hashtag believe women, this and that, believe survivors. The weird part is apparently now, after news breaks, that he is like a one-man wrecking machine on women. He's like a locust of attacking women. He's a whole bunch of people like, yeah, he did this to me and did that to me and did this to me and this to me. Horrible allegations. None of them have been proven in court at all, but it doesn't matter. The court of public opinion. Here's the weird thing. The number of people that are within the circles there, Democratic Party in California, they were all like, yeah, well, this doesn't come as a great surprise to us. Wait a minute. How did it not be a great surprise to you? Everybody knew this, but Eric Swalwell, was close. I think he was riding number one as the governor in California.
Yes, by a lot. And they said this is the worst kept secret on Capitol Hill.
CBS News reports.
The idea that this man who has already abused his power would be given even more power and could potentially harm even more women made my whole body sick.
So, 2 weeks ago, Albrecht reached out to her good friend Cheyenne Hunt, a Democratic content creator, and asked her to post a video about the rumors that have dogged Swalwell for years.
The Democratic candidate currently leading in the California governor's race has a known history of being predatory towards women.
I could never have guessed where it would lead us.
Where did it lead?
I was immediately slammed with DMs from other women who said, I have a story to tell. And that was when I realized that this was a lot bigger than I think any of us knew.
Swalwell has acknowledged what he called mistakes of judgment, but denied all allegations of sexual misconduct.
They have never happened, and I will fight them with everything that I have.
And yet on Sunday, he suspended his bid for governor, and yesterday announced his plan to resign from Congress. Is that justice in your view?
I think we just prevented another 30 to 40 years potentially of him harming people if he were to stay in Congress. Yeah. So in that sense, I think we have served justice for his future victims. Wow. That won't exist anymore.
CNN reports, although they didn't specify the names, who were referring to in the piece, because the story is unverified. Unverified. No, these women are coming forward. Again, it's very odd. If you ever run for office, the first thing to do when the people that want you to run, you sit down with the campaign directors and they say, tell us everything because we're going to find it out anyway. So please tell us every single thing that your opponent could possibly use against you. So since everybody knew this and it had been going on for years and years and years, here's the weird thing. Why did the SEIU endorse him? Why did all these various other politicians endorse the guy when they knew he was sort of a well-known sleazebag? 3 days ago, he says no.
These allegations of sexual assault are flat false. They are absolutely false. They did not happen.
I thought you're supposed to believe all women. Believe all women. That's where these women that are coming forward, but hashtag believe women, but not these women.
And they have never happened, and I will fight.
So they're lying. So then don't believe all women. Believe some women, but don't believe these women. Believe the women that said that Kavanaugh did a whole bunch of stuff to them in high school. But
then with everything that I have, they also come on the eve of an election where I have been the front-runner candidate for governor in California. I do not suggest to you in any way that I'm perfect or that I'm a saint. I have certainly made mistakes in judgment in my past. But those mistakes are between me and my wife.
Oh, me and my wife. Still bothers me, even though he's fighting these horrible allegations. Grammatically not correct.
And to her, I apologize deeply for putting her in this position. For over 20 years, I have served the public. As a city councilman, as a member of Congress, and as a prosecutor who went to court on behalf of victims, particularly on behalf of sexual assault victims. That's who I am and have always been, to show support. And I look forward to updating you very soon.
He's done. Why even bother doing that sort of stuff? He's toasting out of it. Here he's in 2018 having some problems with Brett Kavanaugh.
I saw continued demeaning of victims of sexual assault, people who deserve to be heard, who deserve for their allegations to be investigated. For Brett Kavanaugh's sake, if he is innocent, I hope tomorrow he opens his statement and says, you know what? Bring in all the victims, allow them to be heard, allow them to be questioned. That will clear his name if he's indeed innocent. And if he's not, for the sake of the credibility of the court, I hope that the senators would vote against him.
Okay. Does anybody care about Eric Swalwell? I think the other weird thing is there's a billionaire donor who let him sleep on his couch at his mansion. Apparently, just having Eric spend the night there caused the guy to...
You're mad. I mean...
Mad?
Yeah.
I am no longer a Democrat. I'm now a libertarian Republican. Because that's what a blue dog Democrat used to be. Okay? Mm-hmm. It's called executing.
Seems you guys had a few, hasn't
like
he?
9 a.m.
Really?
Being accountable, enforcing, respect, responsibility, and results. Knowing what your job description is. Delivering results. Unifying. Making this country great. The great brand we have, okay? Or we used to. Can we get it together, please? Can we get it together, please?
He sounds like one of these guys that starts a show off with a voicemail. I can't see. There's no video on it. I can see the video, but he seems like the kind of guy that's emphatic, leaning in, and maybe thumping you on the chest.
I think he's walking his dog. He's in like his pajamas.
And you know what? When I ran for the governorship, I did because I couldn't find a candidate that was worthy to back.
What is this guy's name?
And I thought Eric had the goods.
Oh, Eric had the goods.
But he'd tell the truth.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
All right.
Stephen Klubeck is his name. And clearly, whoever is probably the front runner in the race or whoever's backing the front runner sat on this information until it's close enough to the election that they can release it, get him off the ticket, and then not have enough time for a real challenge.
Well, it's a jungle primary, so the top finishers, right?
Yeah.
So there's 2 Republicans that are in there. Hilton's one of them. I forget who the other person is. And then Katie Porter could possibly be the candidate for the Democrats.
Right.
And a lot on her as well. All right, here's Nate checking traffic. Nate Hahn.
Yeah, Seattle and to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are both at 1 hour. Let's see, I-5, we're solid from Northgate into Mill Creek. 405, stop and go between 520 and 522 in Bothell. Then you're going to clear out until you make your way into Alderwood. It gets heavy again. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, we're at 25 to 30 minutes on both 520 and 990. In Bellevue, South 405 is heavy from 520 through Factoria. Then you're going to start to thin out a bit, but you're not in the clear until you get down to the Renton Landing. Bellevue to Renton is at 35 minutes. North 405, we're packed from South Center up to the VMAC. South Center to Bellevue is going to take you 40 minutes. That's double the norm for this time of day. Seattle to Federal Way, 35 minutes. Your backup starts at 405. Tacoma to Olympia, we just hit 1 hour. And this includes a solid backup from the Tacoma Dome, the State Route 16, another thick backup through JBLM, and then again between Lacey and Olympia. And we have women's national soccer action tonight at Lumen Field. Kickoff at 7 p.m. That's U.S. versus Japan, and that's going to bring in a ton of people into downtown. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Hi, Nate Connors. If you are over the age of 50, you don't want our readers and contacts anymore, concerned about a cataract, have you thought about RLE? That is refractive lens exchange. And I got to tell you something. Of course, you're a little concerned. It's like, okay, a doctor's going to be operating on my eyes. What would make you feel better? The fact that they've done 150,000 of these procedures? And I personally have had it done. Took 5 minutes on one eye, 5 on the others. Dr. Kopstein at K2 Vision RLE said to me, well, it takes 2 Beatles songs. And sure enough, I heard the Beatles song playing in the background, 5 minutes one eye, 5 on the other. I go back in the next day, I've got 20/20 vision. I used to have a whole bunch of glasses, one to see at night and then up close and mid-range and big box of these things. And I kept thinking, I got to get another prescription every year. No more. So about 4 years ago, K2VisionRLE.com was the answer for me. So no more readers, no more glasses, no more contacts. Great move. If you're over the age of 50, go see Dr. Kopstein. The rest of the doctors there at K2 Vision, find out if it's right for you. K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. We're here to help you achieve total wellness at home. Right now, save up to $2,800 on a saltwater hot spring spa for fabulous healthy soaks. Or save up to $12,000 on an endless pool swim spa and turn your backyard into a year-round swim oasis. These massive savings end April 30th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub. Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. One thing the IRS has been working on is to modernize their infrastructure, the software that they use. And, you know, we look at that and say that's great for government efficiency, but in this case, that kind of efficiency means they're spotting people way faster.
They're able to do that, and they have to do that because they have fewer personnel. But look at your own work environment, how technology is replacing people, and you can get as much work done or more with the proper technology. And that's what the IRS's goal is that we need to use technology, especially AI, to make determinations on, okay, who should we go after? Who are we missing?
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. Nunn Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. Nunn Better Tax Resolution.
Do you notice sounds coming from your crawl space or attic, or possibly stale or foul odors in your home? This could be that rodents have gotten into your attic and crawl and have made it their home. They tear up the insulation to make nests to have babies. They contaminate it with their biological waste, which can be harmful to your health. And they ruin your home's energy blanket, costing you thousands of dollars a year. If you even think you may have a problem, call Insulation Northwest today, and we will come to your home as soon as tomorrow and perform a free, no-obligation inspection to determine what the problem is. This inspection normally costs $199, but it's yours free just for calling today. If we discover any problem with rodents in your home, we can get them out and keep them out and restore your home's protective insulation blanket back to brand new condition. Let Insulation Northwest give peace and comfort back to you and your family and save you thousands of dollars in energy savings. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Upgrade your comfort and cut energy costs with Lake Washington Windows. Get 20% off energy-efficient windows and doors plus $1,000 off whole home projects. Enjoy 18 months, no payments, no interest. Schedule your estimate by April 15th at lakewashingtonwindows.com.
April showers bring May who am I kidding? We live in Western Washington. The only thing April showers bring are clogged and overflowing gutters, which can damage your home from your roof to your foundation. Hey, this is Jake Skorheim, and my friends at Valentine Roofing are ready to come to your rescue. Right now, you can bundle and save 10% off your entire job when you add new gutters to any new roofing project. Plus, Valentine also offers gutter guards to help keep leaves and needles out for good, giving you an additional layer of defense against clogged and overflowing gutters. Having Valentine out at my house and seeing their professionalism and attention to detail, it's no surprise Valentine Roofing was awarded the 2025 Gold for Best Roofing Company and Silver for Best Gutter Company by the Seattle Times Best in the Pacific Northwest Awards. You deserve the best too, so schedule your free roofing and gutter estimate today to bundle and save 10%. Just call 206 Roofing. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
This is Congresswoman Marilyn Strickland. Having trouble with the government agency? Tired of dealing with red tape? I'll help you get the benefits you've earned. My office is here to help you with Social Security, Medicare, the VA, passports, and more. We've recovered millions of dollars for taxpayers and stand ready to help you. Call me at 360-459-8514 or visit strickland.house.gov.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
John Curley here. You know a smart thing to do right now? Upgrade your cooling now with Home Comfort Alliance. Choose a Lennox cooling system and get a heating system free. Their 60-second online price estimator makes it so easy. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com today.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Advanced Hair Restoration.
All right. Thank you, Sean. Advanced here as well. Hudson, I believe you have a song, and I think we're going to have to get the short version of it. You can see. All right, there we go. All right, we got a letter of the day first. Take care of all the rest. Joe.
Dennis in Seattle checking in. He says, buddies, it's Tuesday. Are you going to bring that Taco Bell again like you did last week? Also, is Alex Jones always really upset?
Yes. Jeff in Olympia says, but he said, I pledge of allegiance. That's always been a pet peeve of mine. Get it right, people, or get out of town.
Yeah, hee-haw. Jordan Everett says, hey, guys, I love the regular traffic checks, but I still haven't figured out what the VMAC is. What is it? Where is it? I know it's south, but that's it. Help me out.
Yeah, Nate?
Huh? What, the VMAC or BMAC?
VMAC.
The VMAC is the
all right, moving on next round. Elliot in Seattle says, on pizza boxes and crust, not sure if I've been fined, but I get notifications all the time.
Oh,
all right,
wow.
all right.
Enforcement, how about that?
We go back to Nate?
Well, he's got a traffic report card.
Okay, I'll explain it in the traffic
report.
Okay,
go.
Paul in Sammamish says, I have a lot more empathy for John, knowing that he grew up in a household that stale dog turds scattered about the interior.
Yes.
Research shows that inhalation of stale dog turd fumes can cause dyslexia and lead to being susceptible to conspiracy theories later in life.
It was a big room. No one ever went in there. It was a big rug that you couldn't see it.
And they didn't scoop him up before the nuns came over?
It was a small dog.
All right.
James on the YouTube says, I like bacon.
I love bacon bits.
206 says, hey, John, can you please explain why the mayor doesn't want to keep these cameras on in Seattle? I guess it's okay to spy on us when we're going to Seattle Mariners games and Seahawks games, but not so much when people from other countries come over just in case ICE might want to watch. Inquiring minds want to know.
I'll ask her that when we talk to her next week. 253 says, a lot of my friends have left. Some are packing their bags. Others are talking about it. Love the John Curley Show. Thank you.
Joe on Whidbey Island says, John, I love your show. I want to leave Washington, too. My husband is a coin dealer. The new tax on coins and bullion is 10%, and many dealers are not coming to Washington.
Yes, we have that. We have a similar story up at the Instagram page. There you go. Tina in the 425 says, I recall my mother and my grandmother said Gina Che is pretty much the same as Lily of the Alley, as in alleys where the seamstress would hang out. Pew.
Old man John said, if someone gave me a ticket for this big soccer thing, I would trade it for a beer.
All right, thank you, old man John. Jesse B says, FIFA, FIFA, FOFA, FUM.
Oh, nice.
FIFA, FOFA.
Jeremy, the HVAC guy, says, pay the price for having fake interest in poverty sports. Ha ha, suck it, libtards. Soccer is the poverty third world sport. We're better than that. Anyone should have to pay thousands. FIFA made fools out of everyone.
Brian from Arlington says, nuns are jerks. I say I do appreciate what the nuns did for me, some of them. I was also, yes, and your sister is one. I was also a little hole. Sister Therese was definitely a jerk. Okay.
And now it is time for the letter of the day.
We might have to find time tomorrow for some of these Sky King texts because that was like a profound moment in a lot of people's lives.
Oh, good. Okay.
This comes to us from Jenna in Olympia. It's on annoying radio ads. The worst ad is Cars for Kids, of course. The next worst is John and his wife talking about if her butt is big or not.
What? We're not doing that one anymore.
Don't interrupt. Don't you know all women want big butts? Clearly, John's response to the question should be, yes, and I like big butts. Until that happens, I'll continue not trusting Longevity Medical Clinic.
Yeah, what's wrong with my butt?
Yeah.
Oh, Sherry. Sherry hardly says anything.
I know. It's like she's
then
not
she
even
just jumps in every once in a while.
Yeah.
I look over at her and she doesn't say anything, and I ask her something and she mentions food or something.
Yeah,
so,
popcorn balls.
I can't believe she's still getting paid.
You know who likes big butts, don't you?
MC Hammer.
Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
Right, okay.
That's
popcorn balls. They're the worst.
Okay, thank you, Sherry. Here's Nate reporting from the VMAC.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We got to hear the song, right? All right, VMAC stands for Virginia Mason Athletic Center, a.k.a. the Seahawks Training Center, and that is in Renton, right next to Northeast 44th. Woo! Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett plan on a 1-hour trip still. We've got some pretty big backups heading north out of both of those cities. South 5 heading into Seattle, heavy from Northeast 50th in the U District into downtown. Starting to thin down here. Linwood to Seattle, 25 minutes. Add to this a 2-mile backup in Linwood. North 5 still heavy from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal. Half hour to clear this. North 405 is packed from South Center up to the VMAC. South Center to Bellevue's at 40 minutes. And Tacoma to Olympia, 1-hour drive this evening. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment Call us. Sound Pain Solutions. 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Clutter happens. Let Closets by Design save the day. For a limited time, get 40% off plus 15% more and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home in Washington, recent headlines might concern you. Talk of pocket listings or private networks where only certain consumers see certain properties are all over the media. Good news. The legislature recently passed a bill to protect you in your transaction. No secret deals, all listings available for everyone to see, not just an exclusive club of insiders. This means more competition, better offers, and fair access for all consumers. Learn more at warealtor.org, sponsored by Washington Realtors.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Total Wellness at Home is here. Save up to $2,800 on a saltwater